Mary escaped to the UK, and let's talk about secret weddings. So let's start with Janelle this month. This month, Janelle set up her trailer somewhere that is not Coyote Pass, thank God. And fans actually thought that maybe her new boyfriend was hiding in plain sight in this picture. See the legs? Anyways, but Janelle just had to reply back and shut down fans that thought that before the blogs went crazy. And she said, haha, no, it's Gabe, but my children and grandchildren are the true loves of my life. Honestly, Janelle is so independent, and the whole lovey-dovey aspect of a relationship never seemed to be like her thing, so I could see her just staying single for a while. I don't think Janelle will be getting into any whirlwind romances anytime soon. We shouldn't hold our breath for that. Janelle recently went to Utah, I'm assuming to visit Christine, and she went on her stories about how the lilacs are just better there and she misses them. She even brought like a bouquet back to her hotel room, hoping maybe she could also bring them on the plane with her to Flagstaff. Janelle then was in Utah again like a day ago, and she posted a story and said she was there to play with Christine, David, Savannah, and some friends. Play, guys, play. And you know, Janelle could sort of randomly be in Utah twice in a month, but I also would not even be surprised if Christine got married or something, because she's moving so fast with David, and I just get the feeling she wants to get married as fast as possible. So every time I see Janelle in Utah, I'm like, oh, did it happen? I guess we'll find out when the People magazine pictures come out, right? So we'll see. Either way, there's clearly no truth to the rumor that there's a feud between Christine and Janelle. Janelle has literally traveled to Utah twice in 1 month. I mean, based on social media evidence. But I digress. For now, though, Janelle's number one companion in Flagstaff seems to be Gabriel, who's helping her quite a lot with there. So curious to see how Janelle and Cody act on their, dare I say, date. One thing they need to avoid talking about is the boys, for sure, because we all know how this went over Christmas. Like, that topic should be off the table, always. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed my teaser analysis for Sister Wives Season 18, Episode 8. I'll be tuning in and I'll have a full recap up later. Bye guys!
He likes to string people along. I'm frustrated. He strung Mary along for years and years and years, and then he tried to string me along, and now he's stringing Janelle along. He's exhausting.
This is my recap and reaction to Sister Wives Season 18, Episode 7. The episode is called He Said, She Said. In this episode, two conversations are happening at the same time. Janelle and Christine at the restaurant with the red wall, and Mary and Robin at Mary's house. Both conversations are absolutely boring, and I'm going to call this episode a filler episode, but I mean, it has some fun bits within it. So Christine and Janelle are going to lunch. Things are settled now after the big fight, and Janelle is finally ready to confide with Christine about how just terrible her marriage to Cody is. Meanwhile, Mary is super nervous for some reason to tell Robin to come over. And yes, they're finally sitting inside, and she's going to share the fact that she's moving her clothing business to Utah, and Robin probably won't be happy. So Mary's super nervous. But honestly, who cares at this point? Who cares? So here we go. Robin says, "Don't leave me." And Mary's concerned about how this is going to look like, you know, her just moving her clothing business away. Is this going to look like I'm leaving Cody? But all fans know from watching Cody's confessionals that Mary is getting played, so she should be running for the hills anyway. Mary says, "I have an update on my life. Since Mom passed, it's been a lot of work going back and forth to Utah." She says, "I'm going to be moving out. Mad that he was there because they weren't aware that I was like, yeah, you can come. So a few people were like, how dare you show up? But other than that, it was fine. Those people didn't say it to his face. Nobody says bad things to people's faces. They just gossip about it behind their backs. I mean, such a healthy communication style, right? That is not good. It's not good. So number 3, Gwen said that Robin and Cody basically didn't hang out with anyone at the wedding. They were just kind of there. Maybe to just say they were there, I don't know. The only person they really interacted with in the end was Mykelti. I guess she still has this loyalty to Robin from babysitting her kids early on. Gwen says Mykelti is basically one of the only kids that have a relationship with like Robin and Cody, I guess. Maybe there's more, but super awkward though to just not talk to anyone else and just kind of sit there in the background. They did help with Mykelti's kids apparently, which was nice. I mean, it can't be easy for Mykelti to keep a relationship with Robin. Number 2, there was an awkward hug with Robin, apparently. Gwen said that she figures Robin was surprised that she hugged her, but she thought it was good to extend an olive branch because after all, like, she was her guest, she was invited. Gwen had said, when I did give her a hug, she stepped aside and looked like she expected me to push her away and go around her. I felt a little bad. Robin, I would not be surprised that she feels like enemy number 1, and hopefully she does not look at social media comments or articles online. But I also remember once she went live with Mary on Instagram and she had made a comment like, oh yeah, you're gonna get really bad comments now that I'm here. So I think she's kind of aware of what people are saying about her online and stuff. And number 1, Gwen said he came, he didn't cause a fight, and most importantly, he didn't do his scary wedding dance. So I count this as a win. So there you go. No Cody wedding dance. In the most unenthusiastic way ever possible. This is just cringy and embarrassing at this point. Robin says that Cody is not helping her show Mary that there's hope. And some days she feels like that's a deal breaker. This is the first time that Robin's kind of said anything is a deal breaker or that there could be problems with her and Cody. Christine now is making another play to have Janelle move next to her in Utah. She says, why not move on? And Janelle says, well, I'd like to be close to Maddie and the babies. And she proposes, why don't we buy houses all over the country and buy them together? Christine seems like she's in. I don't think they ended up doing that. And I also am not sure Gwen moved in, so this is all probably just talk. They start talking about Thanksgiving, and Garrison immediately says where Christine's having Thanksgiving and is where he wants to be. So there's still this huge bond with Christine for basically raising them, and Christine doesn't want to be with everybody at all, so she ultimately is the gatekeeper from the whole family being together, I have to say. I mean, what's going to happen there? Janelle worries about her boys and their mental health and that they seem kind of sadder and not their regular selves. And Robin, now, this is irritating. She's pushing for Mary to share something or make something specifically clear. And Mary doesn't even want to do it. She knows how it's going to end, but she's kind of pushing Mary to humiliate herself on national TV. Is this necessary? And Mary says, it does not mean I'm leaving the family or you. He actually says in a confessional, good for you, Mary, it has no effect on me. He tries to say, just move into the B&B for some reason and totally ignore the fact that she just said she's not leaving the family. You know, Mary cries in this scene and Cody is very emotionless about this all. She says that she hoped he would care more. Christine is in town for Janelle's birthday too, and Maddie now told her that she's going somewhere with Cody for her birthday. Janelle says This does not mean that their relationship will make it. Now, in another teaser, David is now on the couch. I repeat, David is getting interviewed. He hasn't even been on an episode yet. And Suki asks him what he thinks of Cody. Now, obviously, he has to watch what he says here. This is a delicate kind of hot seat question because Cody's going to see this. He says, well, Cody wears his heart on his sleeve. And maybe he should not put it all, out there like that. He wants you to hear him, David says. And, he says that he wouldn't be like that. That's like the nicest way to say Cody's an absolute lunatic I've ever heard. Cody says that for David's sake, Christine has to destroy his character. As if he really didn't do that himself. But anyway, for David to be okay because otherwise it's like she left a good man. He says that he vetted Robin hard to make sure she didn't leave a good man. Basically insinuating maybe that David may not have vetted Christine, or maybe there was just less vetting overall in that situation. Less than he did with Robin. Cody says he doesn't even know David, and he hopes that Christine is choosing well, and he says it again, I hope she's choosing well, kind of hinting that he's not so sure, maybe. I see some veiled shade. I don't think Cody is convinced that Christine is making the right decision, but he's dancing around that a little bit, and I don't think David is as nicey towards Cody at all in private based on what I'm seeing. He watches the show with Christine, for God's sakes. He does say at the end that when he was dating women, this is David saying this, which makes it sound like he was quite the dater or something. I don't know. But he says that when he was dating people, that his kids always came first, which in David language could mean I wouldn't have let a woman, aka Robin, get in between his kids like Cody has. But props to David for going to the tell-all at all and being part of this whole mess. He seems to be, like a willing participant. And that's probably a good thing. In yet another, any tension, people should just still always show up. Not sure if he showed up later, therefore missed the family picture, or maybe he was there the whole time but chose not to be a part of it. Hard to tell, but the venue looked nice. Janelle said something interesting under her image drop from the event. She had said, some photos from Gwen and Bee's wedding get together this weekend. Mykelti and Tony's twins are so much fun. Avalon wouldn't hold still long enough. Sadly, Maddie and Caleb couldn't make it, and Savannah is with them for the summer. And before you guys say anything, Michelle and Logan's life goal is to be funnest aunt and uncle ever, quote unquote. So, I don't know how to interpret this post. Did Janelle just say that Michelle and Logan don't want kids and that they just want to be a fun uncle and aunt only forever? That's a pretty big thing to kind of just put in a caption, casually mention, but I guess I do agree that it's never good to constantly be asking couples, when are you having kids? When are you having kids? When you don't know the backstory. She probably just wanted to avoid those types of comments because they can come off kind of rude. Mary and Leon were at the wedding as well, so it was nice that they were reunited. I don't know how many times they get to see each other. I don't know. And I thought it was nice that they showed up for Gwendolyn even from kind of far away. Gwendolyn has mentioned that Leon is very supportive of her and that they had hung out at Logan's wedding and that they're on super good terms, but they did have to kind of go out of their way to make it to her shindig. Overall, they still show up and put the tension aside for big family events. I don't know if it was filmed. I couldn't catch cameramen in the background or anything like that, but I kind of hope it was. But it has to be awkward a bit. Do we think that David and Cody interacted at all? What do we think about that? Let's talk about Hunter Elias Brown now, because he's such a beloved Brown, and now his Instagram profile is not set to private, so I feel better about talking about him and putting his pictures up. Hunter, I hope you guys enjoyed it though. Let me know what you thought of the episode, and yeah, what you want Suki to ask, because yeah, her questions aren't the greatest. I have to say, I saw a petition asking that Suki be removed as host, and I feel like they've had better hosts in the past. So, anyways, let's see what happens with all that. All right, guys, have a great night. Bye! These are the teasers for Sister Wives Season 18 Tell All Part 3, so I guess that's episode 17. In the first teaser, Robyn is once again not offering very much in this tell-all. Her performance is terrible. She seems guarded and not trying to say anything interesting. She's crying a lot, obviously, this time about how she thinks Cody is self-sabotaging and trying to sabotage their relationship by picking fights with her. And Suki asks her, "What are the fights about?" And she takes forever to answer and says, "Stupid stuff." Welcome to Every Marriage. Fighting about stupid stuff. Nothing too special or unique or mind-blowing about that, Robyn. Robyn says that they are reacting differently to the bomb that's exploded in the family. Robyn is mourning, so crying all the time, basically, and Cody is angry. Tell us something we don't know. Like, please, can we skip this segment? She says something weird, though. She says that Cody is ready to go find whatever. Does that mean wives, like women? It's not clear what Cody is going out to find, honestly. Cody's extremely vulnerable in this segment. I will give him that. He's the opposite of guarded. He is unapologetically himself, and although I do want to throw things at the TV while he's speaking, I have some respect for that. He says he was sabotaging his relationship with Robyn to punish himself. He even thought about what it would be like to leave Robyn and find someone else. And he thinks that he would look over at the new lover and say, "I don't love you. I love the person I left." And he was embarrassed about the whole whatever happened with his family. And he just, it's a very, very like self-deprecating situation. How his anger was a turnoff for Robyn, apparently. I mean, yeah, it is a turnoff to be like super angry and weird in confessionals like that. Any woman would run the heck away, right? Well, basically, Cody was oversharing with Robyn, probably more than he was in his confessionals. I mean, can you imagine? But in this teaser, Cody's interview was way more interesting than Robyn's, I do have to say, in this teaser. In another teaser, Christine talks about how she doesn't trust Robyn because she does one thing and then says another, which she has actually said this in interviews. This is not new information. Christine distrusts because Robyn says she wants a big family and how she's mourning and everything, but then does all these separate things with Cody. It just does not make sense. Suki is like, how can you have a relationship with Robyn if you don't trust her? Like, Suki, really? Have you watched the darn show, Suki? Christine already told Robyn, like last season, that she doesn't want a relationship. Christine says, no, I will not have a relationship with Robyn. But she doesn't blame Robyn for everything going wrong either. That's more of a group blame situation. And Meri says that her relationship with Robyn is getting figured out, whatever that means, but obviously they're not as close as before. I mean, after Robyn's freak out, I would question things too. She says things are different, and emotionally, Meri's just not 100% there yet to be friends with her ex-husband's wife. Totally get that. Meri says, I'm single. I don't have sister wives. And Meri talks about how Jen, her BFF, has her back 100%, but the other wives don't. But then she says Robyn does. So basically she means Christine and Janelle don't have her back, basically, which no, they don't. I feel like there's no love lost between them, and it's because of past stuff, which hasn't been fully revealed. In another teaser, Mary accuses Cody of not telling her how he felt for a long time, leaving her to pine for him. And she says that when Cody told Robin in the finale that they had an agreement, she kind of had a little bit more, I don't know, clout. I don't know. It's weird. It's all about perception, but it did shift after this happened, in my opinion. In a later season, I think season 15, someone had tweeted that Cody calls Robin love and that he didn't call any of the other wives that. It's true. He used to say love like a million times per episode. And so Janelle responded on Twitter and she had said, "He calls me sweetheart. I wouldn't want to be called love." Oh, the shade. Not too shady, but like just enough, you know? This was back when they used to live tweet during the show. They don't do that now for obvious reasons. Clearly, Cody and Robin would get roasted on Twitter. Beyond this, in the later season, things escalated, for sure, between Janelle and Robin. There was one moment where Cody is working out in Janelle's garage with music, and Janelle says, she needs something harder, like in terms of music. And she confessed that she actually likes Eminem and German industrial rock, which is surprising, honestly. And then in her confessional, Robin was so judgmental. Her face just looked so judgy and, in my opinion, I guess. But she talked about how when they were in Vegas, Janelle used to attend concerts and wore black t-shirts and heavy makeup. Robin was shading Janelle here and acting like a 1950s housewife. Like, who cares about people's music choices? The face she made was quite epic. In season 17, the feud escalated again up a notch. Fans spotted Janelle rolling her eyes at Robin during intense discussions about Christine leaving. Obviously, Janelle just sided with the boys in terms of their dislike of Robin and the belief that she had something to do with the rules Cody implemented when, the virus was happening and they said you had to wash your mail or never see your family or something. It was pretty strict. And Janelle just never seemed happy to be even sitting next to. I still like Nathan. I feel like I'm going to be so irritated next episode. And Mary is slowly becoming a bit more of a favorite for me. She's just keeping it a lot more real this season. She's kind of a voice of reason. I don't know if anyone else feels like this, but I do. We also found out recently that Christine and David are watching Sister Wives episodes while they air. She told fans that during a commercial break last episode, they advertised for a dating app called The Stir for single parents. And this is how they met, and how this was a whole ironic thing. I'm a little surprised that Christine would watch it with David because it's just so toxic. And David, how can he not dislike Cody after watching that? I don't know. I just want to be a fly on the wall to see what they actually banter and talk about while they watch it. Maybe they need to do a pillow talk type of show for TLC and just react to it. I also want to talk about episode 5 because the description has officially dropped and it says, "The Browns discuss how things went over Christmas. Janelle confesses to Christine that she doesn't know if her marriage can be fixed. Robin and Mary try to dissect what went wrong and reveal that Cody was not always equal with his time. Hallelujah. Oh, finally, a big revelation about Cody's time." I feel like Robin was kind of in denial about this for a long time, so I'm actually curious to see this conversation. It only took 10 years, but it's okay. Here we are. I just hope this conversation is not outside, and I'm Team Mary this season, and Team Janelle and Christine, of course, but I just really want to see Mary stand up for herself and just tell Cody where to go at this point. So that is my teaser. analysis for season 18, episode 4 of Sister Wives. Hope you join me during my recap that I'll post as soon as possible after the episode. And hope you're enjoying the season. Bye, guys.
Because you're not listening.
You're not listening to me.
And I'm not going to.
Okay, so we're done.
Goodbye.
You.
He could be her nephew. We don't know. It could be the man's baby. But obviously, this sent Sister Wives fans to Crazy Town trying to figure out if Isabel is dating someone with a child. Like, we need more details just so, you know, because we're driving ourselves crazy, I guess. So now let's go to Truly. So Truly is also on the European vacation. She's living with Christine and David in their new house. And anyways, they're fixing the yard. They're constantly fixing it up, and it's going to look really good, their backyard and all that. So yeah, we'll probably learn more about what the custody situation is between Cody and Christine for custody of Truly. I don't know. I just can't imagine it's going that well for some reason. And I don't know how many times Truly has gotten to see her dad recently. Now let's go to Mary's child, Leon. There are a few things to update for Leon. So for those who are unaware, Leon is now transgender and uses the pronouns they, them. Unclear how often Mary sees Leon, but they did see each other at Gwendolyn's wedding. I believe Leon and their fiancée Audrey live in Colorado at the moment, and Leon is 28 years old. There's just so much going on with the Brown kids, but overall, they're a great group, and they really have grown into amazing people. I hope you enjoyed this update about what the Sister Wives kids are up to now in August 2023. Definitely drop a comment and let me know what you think of all this, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more Sister Wives content. Bye, guys! It is August, and promotion for season 18 of Sister Wives is in full swing, people. TLC released the new pictures for the new season, another insane teaser, a press release, and the description for the first episode. So for season 18, episode 1, there's a lot to get through here. So let's start with the pictures. The group picture is weird to me because Cody and Robin are at the top, almost kind of looking down at the other wives, and a lot of people in the comments and Christine and Janelle are having a celebration of some kind, and it's the first time in a while that we've seen Aspen, Christine's daughter, and her husband Mitch. They're at the table, and I'm shocked because we're talking a while. They don't really film anymore, but here they are on Easter. Cody says that Christine wants the kids to have an identity without their dad, and she basically wants to split them up. And this is the same old story of a dad that's not being that great, blaming the mom about it. Christine and Janelle are doing what they can to compensate for Cody's absence or whatever, and that is so clear to anyone. So the kids would love to see him, and no one is in his way to do that. Like, that's ridiculous. They do an Easter egg hunt with money inside the eggs instead of candy. Mitch juggles, and you can see they're filming on their phones. You can see them in the background. This has to be the most all over the place, very crazy footage shot for a reality show. You know, the other reality shows have such like high level cinematography like Bravo and stuff, and this is like we're watching iPhone footage all the time, and it's getting like even better ratings, or like, I mean, great ratings on iPhone footage. That says a lot. Okay, so teaser 3, and this is the juiciest, so best for last. Christine talks about the fact that Cody would leave her house in the morning to help Robin's kids get ready for school. Which, that's weird, because shouldn't he be helping the kids at the house he's at? Like, Truly was still very young at that time. He says that He liked bringing Solomon and Ariella to school. He says that in Lehigh, they were working so hard to make ends meet, and now it's like he has a second chance at doing all the things, you know? So he says that Robin told him that it was going to cause problems, and Christine says that she's tired of being called a bad sister wife, and that a bad sister wife is one that monopolizes the husband. Shot fired directly at Robin. And Cody claps back right after that and says, a bad sister wife, her in this one too much. Take a look and watch it. And this completes my Sister Wives update for June 2023. Love you guys. Bye. Okay, now really, bye. I'll be back with more Sister Wives updates. Hi guys, this is a Sister Wives update specifically for Christine Brown in June 2023. Let's see what Christine is up to on social media this month. I'll review her posts and let's review some headlines about her at the end of the video. Some are crazy. Christine is actually currently with her fiancé, love of her life, David, in Nashville for a Plexus convention. She said under this picture, "Loving Nashville with the love of my life. We're here for the Plexus convention." And again, she tagged #love of my life. Every time Christine calls David the love of her life, I just picture Cody somewhere like so mad about that, like a knife in the kidneys, right? Plexus is the company she sells for now with Janelle and Maddie. It's this like pink drink I see them holding all the time. And yes, I believe it's another MLM. Something about gut health. Anyways, Christine's not selling for LuLaRoe anymore. She actually announced it on her Facebook page the other day. Christine also got to spend time with Maddie and her kids this month. They traveled from North Carolina to Utah recently to visit, and they literally trucked all the grandkids together in this huge stroller. I mean, I'm sure it was super chaotic at times with so many really young little kids, but it's cute to see the cousins together. Love this picture of Aspen with all the grandbabies. They went to this butterfly world type of place, and also Evie and Avalon look so much alike. I didn't realize it, and a lot of people in the comments were saying the same thing. Now, let's talk about Christine's new house because she showed off the views and I'm pretty sure I can hear the angels singing. Tony says that the fact that they'll still get together for big family events means there's hope or something, and that there's something there, quote unquote. And they count down, and Mykelti basically blasts herself with blue in the face. It actually looks painful. I was worried. She looked blinded for a second there, but 2 boys, and that's super exciting. Cody makes sure to say he'd be just as excited if they were 2 girls. I don't fully buy that, though, because Cody, to me, always kind of favored boys, maybe. He then says, "I see a bad moon arising." You know, like the song. Anyways, if you know that song, I mean, everybody knows that song, but bad moon arising. I don't know if that was the right thing to say in this moment. The joke does not land. Some people kind of laugh awkwardly, like Hunter here, and Cody admits that the whole thing is just bittersweet. Next teaser, Christine admits that Cody was the first boy she ever kissed, and that actually her first kiss was after they got married, which is probably why she got mad when Cody and Robin sealed their engagement with the kiss in season 1. Do you guys remember? Christine did not appreciate that. Probably because, you know, Cody probably made this rule for her that they wouldn't kiss. And Christine is now brave enough to think, you know what, maybe dating could be good, but also admits that she doesn't really go out or anything, so, I mean, how is it gonna happen? Tony proposes. Tony is so funny in this scene, though. His advice is like just classic. He says that maybe she should call herself Tina on the dating apps. And Mitch is concerned about the types of people she could find. And he thinks it should be farmers only. The husband's chiming in is just everything here. I mean, Tina? Really? And this is Isabel's goodbye dinner or something. And Mykelti and Tony say something like, Christine should get reacquainted with her body because it takes practice. I mean, really? I mean, they mean well. But I guess they're just really comfortable just blurting things like this out on national television, telling their mother water anymore, so it's not even actually a pond anymore. So it is what it is. They're having fun over there. It's like a little filler clip there. And Christine is frustrated because Cody's stringing people along. Janelle says, I still have affection for Cody, but I need to grow. But Christine really thinks that he's stringing Mary along, he's stringed her along, and now he's stringing Janelle along. Mary says that it's easier for her to be at the B&B, and she's stressed out about everything. She just doesn't want it to look like she's leaving for some reason. So Mary says that she cares so much and wants it to work out with Cody, and this is something that he has committed to as well. And Cody said, you know, he has not talked to Janelle in 6 weeks, and he's wanting to get back together with Janelle. So I'm not really understanding why, if you wanted to get back together with someone, you wouldn't talk to them for 6 weeks. So why would you do that? Make it make sense. Why has he not talked to Janelle in 6 weeks? Janelle says that, you know, she feels fine with her decision. They have a covenant, though, that their marriage is beyond death even. So, you know, I don't know what's going to happen with that, but she doesn't want to be married anymore. Christine doesn't think that Janelle's done yet with Cody. They talk about how Cody's not the same person anymore, how he used to be more courageous. Janelle says he used to be bold, dynamic, and now he's advocating for patriarchy. Like, what the heck is happening? Mary says this is not the happy-go-lucky Cody Brown that I used to know. He's just not who I married. And I think that happens to a lot of couples. The guy completely changes, you know, it's a whole thing. And Cody says, you know what, we've all changed, not just him. Yeah, but I mean, even his eye color changed. I agree, though, that this is not the Cody Brown from season 1. Who is this person, even? We don't know. Mary says she's not buying that he's so sad about the family going downhill, because then why is he not doing something about it then? Robin says Cody's gonna do what Cody's gonna do. I mean, why is he not Janelle? So first, let's talk about Father's Day shade and how much shade is okay on Father's Day, because Cody got roasted bad this year. Christine posted a series of pictures of David with her kids for Father's Day and wished him a happy Father's Day, not Cody. She had said, Happy Father's Day, David. I've watched how loving, compassionate, and present you are with your children, and I love how you've shown that to my children as well. You're truly showing up, which is what is most important. Of course, the elephant in the room is that she completely ignored Cody, the father of her 6 kids, who she has previously accused of, not showing up. So, yikes. Here's some of the top comments on that post. Happy Father's Day. Cody is somewhere punching the wall right now. Dang, if that ain't a big ol' middle finger to Cody Brown. And my personal favorite, Cody's last kidney may need CPR. Hopefully his best customer can help. Technically, Robin said he's her best customer, but extra points for that reference anyway, I say. I mean, to the point where I honestly kind of felt bad for him. So before I proceed, don't forget to like this video right now, and then I'll move on. Thank you. Okay, so meanwhile, Peyton, Christine's son, who has been absent from social media posts, actually lately posted the weirdest post of all time on Father's Day, actually. I'm not even going to show the picture because I'll probably get flagged or the video will get taken down, not going to lie. Let me tell you, it's Peyton's coworkers. Let's not forget he's a bouncer at a strip club and they are operating a car wash, so just imagine. So, very weird, not on my bingo card, and someone in the comments said, the irony you're posting this on Father's Day and not posting about your father isn't lost on me. And Peyton actually replied, finally, laughing face. So, I guess that's the irony he was going for, but I don't know if that really landed.
Her moving her business up there does not mean she's not still committed.
Hi guys, this is my recap and reaction to Sister Wives Season 18, Episode 8, called The Writing on the Wall. The episode starts and Cody and Robin get to Mary's house, and Cody has to walk back to the car and says, my hair looks kinda crazy. I better get my glasses to hold it. Like, I don't know why this was necessary, and it's kind of weird because they don't often show them arriving to someone's home, walking in, but they totally did in this scene. And we know this is the big scene of the episode. Mary is still very much in denial that her relationship with Cody is donezo, and she's about to basically kind of embarrass herself here a little bit. She says she doesn't have a lot of hope for his reaction, but it would be pretty cool if this was a slap in the face realization. Wishful thinking at best, Mary. Cody has hope for Janelle, but Mary, not so much. Mary has this sign in the kitchen that immediately caught my attention. Do you guys see it? It says, if we have complete control over our family somewhere down the line, we have gone terribly wrong, which is interesting. Mary asks if everything's going okay? And Cody says, everything's good. Everything's going good. Even Robin had to make a face to show that is the opposite of the truth. Cody goes on about how he feels like he can't show his love for Robin because this is not a safe space for us. So Mary nervously starts to tell them she's downsizing in Flagstaff and that she's moving her clothing business to Utah. And I just can't help but notice how much Robin and Cody are just looking at each other in this scene the whole time. I kind of find it hard to believe that they didn't plan their reaction here or something, or discuss this before. Cody's reaction is, cool, that's good, right? Unless it's because you have to. Sure enough, he does not give a flying you-know-what. Robin is crying in her confessional because she thinks, you know, he should give her hope to hold on to, even though there's no hope at all, like, at all. And Mary then dismisses Robin this season. And there are a lot of looks throughout the years that Janelle she just can't hide it. I mean, it is what it is. And of course, Janelle threw shade at Robin at the tell-all this season, saying she's so tired of quote-unquote Counselor Robin. Oh, your pain, your pain. So, yeah, it just feels like Janelle's even more angry at Robin for everything now. So, it is what it is. The feud lives on. I don't think we should ever expect these two to be, like, friends or anything like that. And I hope you enjoyed my Sister Wives, Janelle and Robin in-depth report on their ongoing frenemy feud. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching the whole way through. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more Sister Wives content. Bye guys! This is my recap and reaction to Sister Wives Season 18, Episode 12. In this episode, Christine throws a party, Janelle and Cody get awkward in her new apartment, and Mary turns her life into a tree metaphor. Oh, and Janelle uses the term poop in a group, and no one knows what that means, like at all. I've looked it up. I mean, what does that mean? First, Christine is having a 50s birthday party for her 50th birthday. There is a food truck. So many kids showed up to celebrate. We see Aspen, Peyton, Garrison, Gabriel, Savannah, Mykelti, Isabel. Truly, Christine loves being single and admits to dating, but for quote-unquote fun. Janelle supports Christine dating. She knows that Christine has been looking for a good partner for so long, and Cody just wasn't fulfilling that at all. I mean, at all. No, now hold the phone, because we learned that Mykelti told Robin and Cody first about the fact that she was pregnant with twins because she needed help, apparently, whatever that means. I think we all collectively cringed inside at the screen when she said that. Telling Robin before your mom, Mykelti. Doing recaps. August 20th, guys. Mark your calendars. It's Sister Wives time. All right, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye. This is a Sister Wives deep dive about every house Cody, Mary, Janelle, Robin, and Christine have lived in since 2010. So since starting to film the show Sister Wives, the Browns have lived in over 15 houses combined. They've moved a lot, so let's take a quick tour of everywhere they've lived and watch until the very end for details about Christine's brand new house in Utah. In the meantime, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more Sister Wives updates. At first, when we were introduced to the Browns, they shared one large house in Lehi, Utah, and by all appearances, they seemed like a functional, happy family living under one roof. We had no idea how badly everything would unravel. The house was over 6,000 square feet, with 3 separate apartments all connected on the inside. So it was 3 apartments that had their own entrances, kitchens, laundry rooms, and master bedrooms. So each wife had their own space, and the house was actually designed for a plural family. We know that Christine really actually hated living on the lower floor, also called the basement, and her experiences there led to her saying heck no when Cody wanted to live in one big house again down the road years later. Janelle felt that Mary was restricting access to her area or even her stairs in Lehi for the children, and that also seemed to be like a point of conflict. But early in the show they didn't talk about that. It's only later that we found out. The Browns ended up leaving the Lehi house in a hurry when they thought the police were investigating them for polygamy. In 2011, they packed their bags and basically ran away to Las Vegas, where they embarked on a new adventure in a new state. Cody had pitched it as a fun place full of games for the kids, but they started struggling immediately living apart. And so I thought I would share them and react to the quotes here. So first quote, "It's terrible that I'm making this about myself, but it hurts so much to see him be a good father to others when I didn't really get that much. I'm so happy they have a good father, or from what it looks like to be a good father and an active father." So this was actually really heartbreaking to hear her say, and it was very apparent, that she was fighting back tears. So it made me really sad to hear her say that. I can imagine that would hurt a lot. She also said that she doesn't like Robin as a person. I mean, no surprises here, right? So she also kind of went in after her brother Peyton, and she had said, "He's the most awful person I've ever had the displeasure of knowing, and I would strongly advise taking anything he says as fact. I would advise against giving him any kind of support, even if you're just watching the kind of content he puts out." I mean, ouch! That has to be difficult for Christine to manage. 2 of her kids, have a huge rift. They don't get along at all. I mean, maybe we don't know the whole story. It's kind of hard to tell, but just always sad to see a brother and sister have a big rift like this, honestly. Gwendolyn also commented on Cody and Robin's spending habits. She had said, I think that my dad and Robin have a terrible habit of spending very crazy and like not within their means at all. So that's interesting. I feel like I've heard this before for some reason. And, you know, since Janelle used to handle the finances, I feel like she would know best and she has like that whole story, you know? Meanwhile, Leo, Mary's child, and their fiance Audrey seem to be enjoying life. I think they live in Colorado now. Under this image, Leo said, "I love to love this human." And they seem to be spending a lot of time with their dogs. And Mary chimed in the comments, "Love you both." So word on the street is that Leo is distancing herself from the family in a way, probably for her own peace and sanity and to stay away from the drama. They seem happy, which is good. Mykelti, Christine's daughter, is in teasers left and right these days. In one teaser for episode 2, Cody says that they're not acting like a family, they're acting like enemies. And Janelle is opening up about how she can't deal with Cody's anger anymore to Christine, which is shocking to Christine because we're in 2021 here. And before this point on the show, Janelle always seemed pretty ride or die, let's say, for Cody. She constantly was reiterating that she was fine with her relationship with Cody. She was getting what she wanted out of it, blah, blah, blah. She called him honey all the time. I never fully bought into that, but now she goes as far as to say, like, can it be saved? I have no idea. Fast forward to today, and we know that they are separated and that Janelle actually felt some type of relief off her shoulders once they did split. So, I don't know. There's also reports saying that Cody wants to rekindle things with Janelle. Janelle, to me, does not seem interested in that. Anyways, Cody's anger at this point in the show is just getting out of hand, and who wants to deal with that and also share him? No one. And in another teaser, Cody and Christine continue their lunch date from hell at the Mexican restaurant with a lot of passive-aggressive digs and just awkward communication all around about who hates who and the kids. Seriously. So Cody says, Christine's face doesn't bother me, but it's what she's doing with the children, talking behind my back. And Christine says, basically, she's just acting as a sounding board for the kids, a safe place for them to come talk about things that are hard. I don't know, the truth's probably somewhere in the middle. And then they get into kind of a strange exchange. Christine says, "So sometimes you still hate me. It's okay." And Cody says, "I think it gives you satisfaction if I did hate you." So that's weird. Christine wants Cody to admit he hates her, and he won't do it because he thinks she would be happy about that. I mean, breakups are toxic. What can I say? Cody says that Christine is Machiavellian. She plays both sides, smiles from the front and stabs you in the back. I had to look this up, actually. Machiavellian because Christine is in town and she's cooking in Garrison's kitchen for like a special meal. The older kids are coming over to vent about the text exchange with Robin, and Garrison's gonna be super vocal and vulnerable in this conversation. So Savannah says that she sees Brianna, Robin's daughter, at school and they basically ignore each other in the hallway just to show you how weird things are. Brianna is, I have to say, taking notes from the Robin textbook because in her first confessional of the season, I think, she says she's shocked and confused about why they avoid each other. And she just starts to cry almost uncontrollably, like even more dramatically than Robin. Mary and Jen now, they're moving things out of the carriage house area. This is the area that's going to be renovated to fit all her LuLaRoe clothes, etc. So, and we also see that Jen is basically groping her own husband on national television as he assembles a shelf. I think Jen is acting weird because she's probably nervous on camera. It's the second episode of her, I feel, acting extra. Mary says that when there's a favorite wife, it doesn't work, and they've seen this before in polygamous families. Cody says that if there is a favorite wife, it has to do with loyalty. This is the same loyalty narrative that we've heard so many times. So, loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. Gabe and Gwen are moving in with Garrison soon, and Christine still thinks it's a terrible idea, but they're not there to talk about that today. Truly is with Cody, and she's sleeping over there, we learn. Christine felt like moving away was the best way to preserve the relationship between them. Cody thinks that's a bunch of BS rationalization. I mean, it's an interesting take for sure. I'm interested to see what you guys think about that. Robin outright blames Christine leaving on the damage in the relationship between Cody and his kids. Cody said that he reached out to Gabe and Garrison, but he's blocked. But honestly, the damage started to be done during the pandemic before Christine left. Anyone who watches the show knows the timeline. Gwendolyn Arabable, hooray! We know that she was seen with moving trucks in Utah and that she probably relocated there, but we don't really know the full story on this, so it'll be interesting about how that plays out. And I think, from other spoilers, Robin is not going to react well to this, so we need to stay tuned, and I'll be back with a recap for this one, Sister Wives Season 18, Episode 5. Bye, guys!
I'm stuck. Financially, I have nothing. Christine had the house, I have nothing. My name is on property with everybody else. Probably nobody will cooperate now and play ball. FF.
This is my recap and reaction to Sister Wives Season 18, Episode 4. The episode is called A Deal with the Devil. In this episode, Cody says he feels like running away, Janelle cries about her finances, and Mary says Cody regrets marrying her. It's the most depressing Christmas ever. It's raining and gloomy in Flagstaff, and it's the aftermath of the shut the F up fight between Janelle and Cody from last week. Janelle thinks Cody's trying to get rid of her. She's super depressed about it and cries to the camera about how she's stuck financially and that she has nothing. She says, I am 50 and I can't do my own thing. She's tied up with the family for Coyote Pass and she doesn't think they'll play ball. Cody says that he's mad as hell and that Janelle's the mean one. Oh yeah, Janelle's the mean one. I'll just say it. The fact that Janelle has nothing financially, yet is the one who worked from 6 a.m. to God knows when for years when they were in Utah, and Robin, who has never worked, is sitting pretty in her $1 million home with her freaking Charles Dickens Christmas houses, is beyond a travesty. They better give Janelle what she's owed. That was such an irritating... I can't believe it. A real moment for Janelle, although a bit too zoomed in, but I really felt much as well. She opened up about bullying in her family. Tony said that in Vegas, he had witnessed Mykelti being excluded a lot. Apparently, her two biggest adversaries in the family when she was younger were Leon and Madison, but later in life, they talked about everything and now have a great relationship. But honestly, poor Mykelti. So Tony says he doesn't find it far-fetched that Robin's kids would have been bullied and that they're quote-unquote soft compared to the OG3 kids. She also called out Mary in the tell-all. In the part where Mary kind of insinuated that she didn't cheat during the catfish era, and Mykelti said to the screen, "You did though." She definitely considered that cheating in Mykelti's mind. So speaking of Mary, she just came back from Michigan where she spent Thanksgiving with her friend Blair and his family and friends. And Blair did say in her comments, "See you in a few weeks." So moral of the story, Mary's friends are being there for her and are a strong support system during the holidays this year. Jen, her best friend, is also very there at all times. I saw in a live they did at the bed and breakfast. They were there with a bunch of other ladies with Worthy Up sweatshirts. Not sure if this was another retreat, but Mary promises that there is more where that came from in the whole Worthy Up thing she's doing. I would not be surprised if in 2024 Mary has a book coming out and she tries to be some type of motivational speaker or influencer. Let's just see where this is all going with the Worthy Up. And Mary dyed her hair red. I was going to dye my own hair red, and now I kind of feel like I would be copying Mary or something, but I digress. And sometimes when we change our hair, we also are making big changes. I feel a bit bad for Mary because she doesn't have many connections in the family anymore, and I'm not sure she even has that much contact with Leon. I don't see them together that often. She's kind of on her own island, guys. Like, what do you guys think about that? Janelle, let's go to Janelle now. So Janelle is in her element this holiday season watching me. I gave birth to Truly and was suffering from extreme postpartum depression. I never thought I'd feel such a sense of loss and such crippling jealousy. I thought I was better and stronger than that. I really did. And the jealousy kind of continued. Christine had a major issue with Cody picking Robin's wedding dress, and the fact that they went on a 10-day honeymoon and kissed before marriage. The 10-day honeymoon, by the way, they went on. I mean, Christine had a newborn at home, so she was kind of in a vulnerable stage for sure, but I completely understand. For Christine, it was just always super hard for her to see a functional marriage for Robin while hers was kind of struggling, which is completely understandable. It would have driven me nuts too. And therefore, Robin and Christine just never connected or something. And when Christine left the family, she made it clear that she needed space and told Robin that. Robin took it so personally, crying in the driveway and all that. It did not go well. Christine also notoriously called out Robin for having a nanny during the pandemic. She couldn't understand what the nanny actually did. What does the nanny do? The famous line, which makes sense because if you think about it, Christine used to raise like 12 kids and 3 of Robin's kids are fully grown. So the nanny can only really be for the 2, and Robin doesn't have a job, only the show, so she has a bunch of free time. I mean, we're assuming, or by perception, it may not be true, but anyways. And finally, let's go to the feud between Cody and his sons Garrison and Gabriel. This one, I would argue, totally caused by Cody getting crazy during the pandemic or something. Or anyways, big conflict there. The whole thing goes that Gabriel insisted that he and his girlfriend Peyton should be able to see each other during the pandemic. And Cody was super worried about it. He basically was saying, if you see your girlfriend, I can't come over and see your mom. Gabriel and Cody were at a complete impasse about the rules, and Gabriel even kind of talked about how he thought maybe Robin made up the rules. It was a whole thing. And then Cody called Gabriel when he was sick with the decision about her marriage. Then Christine and Janelle head out on a road trip to Idaho. Why are they going to Idaho? I mean, why? Where? I don't, like a fun vacation or something like that. Also, I mean, is Mary still confused? I feel like she's been thinking about her marriage and what she was going to do for like 4 episodes at this point. End it, Mary. Put us out of our misery, please. Episode 14, called It's Always Darkest Before Dawn. So hopefully dawn comes. It says, Christine talks with her brothers about her newfound happiness and hopes to inspire Janelle, but Janelle won't let go of the past. No, Janelle's not there yet. At Coyote Pass, they go to Coyote Pass in episode 14. I thought they were never going to go back. Another sit down in Coyote Pass. Robin is devastated when she learns that this is finally the end of the road for Mary and Cody. Yes. This is the scene where Mary finally tells Cody and Robin freaks out, guys. This is like gonna be one for the books, I'm telling ya. And Christine's brothers, have we ever seen her brothers before? This may be the first time that they film. I'm kind of curious to see what they say. Also, I'll have a new video out about some interesting podcasts and things that various family members have said recently. This is a new age thing. I mean, Madison and Cody were both on podcasts recently. Mykelti still is like spilling her guts on her Patreon, and it's kind of interesting. You know what I mean? So I have stuff to report, updates about that. That will be coming up. Thank you so much for watching my teaser analysis for Sister Wives Season 18, Episode 13. Talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.
For our anniversary, I just said, well, I'm watching the kids. I needed a minute to, think. I needed a reason to be able to say no in the event I just didn't think it was the right thing for me.
Multiple times that even from early on, Janelle and Mary butted heads. And that Janelle kind of even toned down the PDA with Cody very early on because it felt kind of uncomfortable. In the book Becoming Sister Wives, Janelle said that housekeeping was a major problem between her and Mary. She said that Mary and Cody would actually gang up on her and insisted that she clean the house in the evening, while she was kind of trying to relax, I guess. Things got so bad that after a really bad fight with Mary, Janelle moved away with her kids to her mother's house and then agreed to come back because they were moving into the Lehigh house that had more space and a full yard and everything. So it kind of lured her back in. There was some type of rumbling on the show about Mary restricting access to her side of the house in Lehigh or something about using her steps, to the point where Janelle was worried that in Flagstaff, on Coyote Pass, Mary could restrict the kids from going to the pond if she lived next to it. So she was trying to restrict Mary from living next to it, which sounded ridiculous to me at the time because A, the pond is disturbing and disgusting. B, who the heck cares about the pond that probably has prairie dog poop in it with plague? I never understood why Janelle was so passionate about the pond. Either way, Mary and Janelle actually went to therapy together, and on the way there, they rode separately. And they rode separately to therapy when they used to live in the cul-de-sac, which was basically the same general area, showing how close they actually are. I mean, it couldn't be done. They couldn't ride together. It was too weird. Mary also said something kind of interesting one time on Anderson Cooper's show a long time ago, because Anderson actually doesn't even have that show anymore. She had told Anderson that Janelle threatened her less than Christine in terms of jealousy because she kind of saw Janelle's relationship with Cody as more of a friendship. And Christine's was more romantic. Ouch. Okay, so, seeing that she has not spoken to Cody since her birthday in early December, and it's now mid-January. Poor sweet Savannah. That is so unfair. She's collateral damage. Christine says, I don't think he realizes how easy it would be to fix this all. He needs to see his kids. And then Cody comes in and says he just doesn't have the emotional fortitude, apparently. And here come the victim vibes, and he says that the phone goes both ways. The kids can call him. I have a big issue with whenever he says that because he is the dad. He should always take the first step. It just comes with the territory of being a parent. Why are you expecting the boys or Savannah to call you to talk or mend things? Make it make sense. People magazine offered a sneak peek with quotes. Apparently, there will be a big chat between Mary and Robin, and Mary says she has a secret. They're probably outside again, and they hug about something. The article said that from Christine's perspective, And I quote, she said, "I thought naively that we would be able to all get together again for the holidays and family functions and still have family reunions together. Even with me leaving, I really felt like we could be mature enough and adult enough. But as of right now, I don't see that being possible. I just don't. There's so many things that are broken now. We're just not a family anymore." That is accurate. It's broken, and I'm officially worried. After last week, I'm seriously questioning Cody's mental stability with all that talk about "I'll be the devil you know now" and how he wants to run away. What is going on there? And now let's talk about the description for season 18, episode 6. This one is called The Understatement of the Year, and I think it's going to be a good one, guys. It says, Christine reveals she's hired a matchmaker. Mary makes plans to move her business but worries about how Robin will take the news. Janelle meets with Cody for the first time since their huge fight and asks if he still wants plural marriage. I mean, yes, Mary almost making her exit here, so I don't know where that's even coming from. Let's go to the next teaser. This run is from today. So in this one, Christine says that she's nervous about dating again and not ready. But I mean, she's not that nervous because she hired a matchmaker. You don't hire a matchmaker if you're not ready, but here we are. She says she wants a bald man with tattoos driving motorcycles. She just wants Cody's complete opposite. And by the way, she did get bald, but not sure if David has tattoos or a motorcycle. He might. Christine says that she's done with polygamy and she's going for monogamous this time, which is very clear. But someone, I think Mitch in the scene, asks her, "Have you concluded that polygamy doesn't work?" But she doesn't really want to say it doesn't work because her kids are from polygamy, so she doesn't want to say it. In the next teaser, number 3, this one is from E. Cody invents some new term saying plural monogamy is a thing, and that's what they're actually living because they're only concerned about what's happening in their own home, Janelle and Robin. So they don't want to function as like living together and don't basically care about each other, basically. So it kind of sounds like Cody in this weird way saying, you guys aren't good enough to live polygamy. I don't know. This whole term seems to be invented unless you guys know that it's actually a real thing. Janelle says she's just not sure their marriage can be saved, and Cody never once says that he really wants it to work or anything like that. I'm just not feeling the enthusiasm. He just kind of seems like, oh, okay then. This one, and this is the last one, is from E as well. Mary expands on her idea to bring her clothing business, I guess probably LuLaRoe, but she doesn't say LuLaRoe, to the B&B, which would mean less time spent in Flagstaff. She confides in her friend Jen, the one that she does her Instagram lives with. I don't know if this is Jen's first time officially on the show, like with a scene, but she kind of does look nervous. Mary's nervous about how Robin will react. She thinks, I mean, that's great. Hallelujah. I mean, but at the same time, isn't it kind of like a tradition to see that happen? Honestly, maybe it would have pepped things up and made things less awkward. I don't know. Alright guys, thanks so much for listening the whole way through. I'll be back with more updates. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you think of all this. Bye guys! This is a part 2 July 2023 Sister Wives update plus a Hunter Brown update. This is what happens when the day after my July 2023 Sister Wives update, the whole family posts like a million pictures. So I have to do part 2 now. So Gwendlyn and B got married this weekend and it resulted in probably an awkward party. at a place called the Mayor Flagstaff, which has a rooftop patio. So the whole family was there, despite the crazy tension between some of them, minus two of Janelle's kids, Maddie and Savannah, who are in North Carolina, and Gwen's brother, Peyton. Mykelti's kids were basically the stars of the whole reception, literally going from arm to arm to arm. They were with Hunter, they were with Logan and Michelle, they were with Robin and Cody, and they're just so cute. And in a way, you know, kids help bring everyone together. Logan and Hunter were competing for fun uncle status, I think. That's the vibe I get. Logan and Hunter are basically the MVPs of the family. I wonder what their relationship with Cody is. That's not really, like, public, but I could see them kind of siding with Garrison and Gabriel. All the wives were in one place, but Cody and Robin seemed to stay in the background, and they were not in a big family photo that was taken, but David was. We saw Robin in a video holding a child in the background. I think maybe it was Mykelti's daughter Avalon, and Cody is seen here, like, giving one of Mykelti's boys a bottle. So, yeah, he was just kind of like in the back, but he showed up, and showing up is important, despite all in like these Spanish-style rentals, far from each other, but within the same school district that they liked. That's how they chose where they wanted to be. And the teenagers, and probably especially Hunter, really struggled to adjusting to Vegas. So it's super ironic that Hunter is living there now as an adult working in healthcare. Fun fact. So eventually, a huge storyline was that they were trying their best to build new houses for every wife on a cul-de-sac, and getting approved for the mortgages was like no joke, because it was nerve-wracking, especially for Robin, because she had accumulated some debt coming out of her last marriage. But they did actually get the new houses built, and they were thrilled. Like, this was like peak happiness. Mary got her wet bar and thought she had the best kitchen. They were in a gated community, and apparently Robin had a trampoline and playground in her backyard. According to the Las Vegas Review, the first floor of the houses had like several den office spaces, plus a bonus room behind the kitchen. The master suites were mostly like on the first floor, and all the other bedrooms were on the second floor, with 2 bathrooms with full baths. So the houses were beautiful. It was a huge upgrade from wherever they had ever lived before. The family seemed to have a lot of great years in the cul-de-sac in Vegas, but Cody got the itch, seemingly out of nowhere in 2018, to move away and get away from Vegas, the place that he had pitched so well as like a fun place. Yeah, he was not enjoying anymore. And the wives weren't really on board initially, given that they were so settled there and that some of their kids were in the middle of their high school years. So he changed their mind, and they ended up buying the Coyote Pass property in Flagstaff, Arizona. Yes, despite the real estate agent telling them that the coyotes that go there have the plague. I mean, they loved the pond for some reason, saw the angels singing, and just went for it, selling their homes in the nice cul-de-sac that they had tried so hard to get, and moving once again into rentals far away from each other in Arizona, until, you know, when multiple times that even from early on, Janelle and Mary butted heads, and that Janelle kind of even toned down the PDA with Cody very early on because it felt kind of uncomfortable. In the book Becoming Sister Wives, Janelle said that housekeeping was a major problem between her and Mary. She said that Mary and Cody would actually gang up on her and insisted that she clean the house in the evening, while she was like kind of like trying to relax, I guess. Things got so bad that after a really bad fight with Mary, Janelle moved away with her kids to her mother's house, and then agreed to come back because they were moving into the Lehigh house that had more space and like a full yard and everything. So it kind of lured her back in. There was some type of rumbling on the show about Mary, like, restricting access to her side of the house in Lehi or something, about using her steps, to the point where Janelle was worried that in Flagstaff, like on Coyote Pass, Mary could restrict the kids from going to the pond if she lived, like, next to it. So she was trying to, like, restrict Mary from living next to it, which sounded ridiculous to me at the time, because A, the pond is disturbing and disgusting. B, like, who the heck cares about the pond that probably has prairie dog poop in it with plague? Like, I never understood why Janelle was so passionate about the pond. Either way, Mary and Janelle actually went to therapy together, and on the way there, they rode separately. And so they rode separately to therapy when they used to live in the cul-de-sac, which was basically like the same general area, showing how close they actually are. I mean, it couldn't be done. They couldn't ride together. It was too weird. Mary also said something kind of interesting one time on Anderson Cooper's show a long time ago, because Anderson actually doesn't even have that show anymore. She had told Anderson that Janelle threatened her less than Christine in terms of jealousy, because she kind of saw Janelle's relationship with Cody as more of like a friendship, and Christine's was more like romantic. Ouch. Okay, so is living with David out of wedlock at the moment. I mean, they're engaged, and I mean, the audacity, if this is true, the audacity. I mean, Cody literally was courting a fourth wife while Christine was pregnant, you know, and technically 3 of his wives were out of wedlock, so the whole wedlock argument doesn't really have legs for him. But anyways, we don't know who the insider is. Like, we always have to take articles like this, like, kind of with a skeptical eye, right? Alright guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back with more content. Bye guys! Can we just have a quick Sister Wives update about the pictures from Savannah Brown's graduation? Because it looks like the most awkward family situation ever. There were clearly 2 very divided groups at this graduation. I'm sure you could have probably cut the tension with a knife in Flagstaff that day. So in this corner, you had Cody with really bouncy curls that day, by the way. He did show up for his little girl, as he should. There's no way to confirm if Robin was there or not. I mean, people could just want to not be in pictures and stuff like that. And in the other corner, you have basically people who have very tense and strained relationships with Cody in various ways for various reasons. There's Gwendolyn, who has been holding nothing back on her YouTube channel, calling him manipulative and admitting that she's not a fan of Robin, and it's not even clear if he's going to even go to her wedding. We have Garrison and Gabriel. This played out on the show. They literally butted heads with Cody since the pandemic. Cody seemed super kind of cold towards them, in my opinion, not understanding that they wanted social lives as young men, and kind of insisted that they just up and move out or whatever. There's just a lot of anger on Dave. Garrison says that the text thread was the point where they stopped caring, and Gwen is like, if we had a face-to-face with Robin, she would probably manipulate us and cry. Okay, so it's getting savage. There's a lot of, like, I think they might be showing them these scenes in confessionals, and they're just, like, fighting back. And on that note, it's Avalon, McKelty's daughter's birthday. They just shoved that scene in there, and her party is at Robin's house. Cody just loves how McKelty is warm to them. Apparently Tony loves Robin. They're connected, and they get each other, and I had no idea about this. And Robin says he's a good kid, and they start talking about how Robin saved Mykelti from her siblings being mean to her or something like that. But again, we've heard this before. This is not a new fact. Christine's Flagstaff friends now are celebrating her anniversary with Cody. It would have been married since 1994, so I mean almost roughly 30 years. These are moms that she had met through Isabel, and Christine says you have to find a new identity when you're divorced, and it's super important to find good people. Cody calls in the middle of the conversation, which is super weird because it's their anniversary and he obviously knows that. And she goes on for a little bit about how, you know, she's a big fan of divorce. She says, like, basically, if you think you need to divorce, do it, you know. She highly recommends it. And I think Christine feels liberated. It's almost like she was in a prison and now she's free. Like, it just, for her, definitely was a good experience to divorce. The nosiest friend at this dinner asked Janelle how she is hearing what Christine is saying. And Janelle says that it does not bother her. She doesn't care, and she doesn't feel much loyalty to Cody right now. And Janelle tells them that things are pretty okay with Cody. She just met them, and she's just not the type to, like, spill the beans, so she's definitely holding back. And Christine says that her tipping point was that he wasn't being a good dad to her kids. Cody says in a scene that Christine basically forced herself in his life, and he does say something to me. I gave birth to Truly and was suffering from extreme postpartum depression. I never thought I'd feel such a sense of loss and such crippling jealousy. I thought I was better and stronger than that. I really did. And the jealousy kind of continued. Christine had a major issue with Cody picking Robin's wedding dress, and the fact that they went on a 10-day honeymoon and kissed before marriage. The 10-day honeymoon, by the way, they went on, Christine had a newborn at home, so she was kind of in a vulnerable stage for sure, but I completely understand. For Christine, it was just always super hard for her to see a functional marriage for Robin while hers was kind of struggling, which is completely understandable. It would have driven me nuts too. And therefore, you know, Robin and Christine just never connected or something. And when Christine left the family, she made it clear that she needed space and told Robin that. Robin took it so personally, crying in the driveway and all that. It did not go well. Christine also notoriously called out Robin for having a nanny during the pandemic. She couldn't understand what the nanny actually did. What does the nanny do? The famous line, which makes sense because if you think about it, Christine used to raise like 12 kids and 3 of Robin's kids are fully grown. So the nanny can only really be for the 2, and Robin doesn't have a job, only the show. So she has a bunch of free time. I mean, we're assuming, or by perception, it may not be true, but anyways. And finally, let's go to the feud between Cody and his sons Garrison and Gabriel. This one, I would argue, totally caused by Cody getting crazy during the pandemic or something. Or anyways, big conflict there. The whole thing goes that Gabriel insisted that he and his girlfriend Peyton should be able to see each other during the pandemic. And Cody was super worried about it. He basically was saying, if you see your girlfriend, I can't come over and see your mom. Gabriel and Cody were at a complete impasse about the rules, and Gabriel even kind of talked about how he thought maybe Robin made up the rules. It was a whole thing. And then Cody called Gabriel when he was sick, followed by more epic training. Yep, it looks like on day 2 there was some working out happening and inspiration. She said, after a good workout, we did a little more sightseeing and shopping. This place is amazing, y'all. P.S. If anyone knows where I can get my hands on a cute Paddington figurine like this one, only quite a bit smaller, please let me know. I'm obsessed. Okay, so it is the Paddington bear obsession. That's so interesting. Mary talked about how excited she was for her trip on Fridays with Friends with Jen, and it seems like a good time for her to get away, and it looks like these retreats really make Mary feel good and stay positive, so I'm all for it. Might also mean that she's done filming for a while, perhaps, or done for the season. I don't know. But Danelle Delgado, by the way, I've seen Mary talk about her before, and she is well known for training entrepreneurs, and she's also like a motivational speaker, I believe. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed my Mary update about her trip to the UK. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye! On Sister Wives, the Brown family has had a crazy amount of drama, but nothing compares to the drama in the feuds in the family. In this video, I'll be taking an in-depth look at 4 major feuds on Sister Wives. They are Mary versus Janelle, Payton versus two of his sisters, Cody versus Gabriel and Garrison, and of course, we have a Christine versus Robin situation. But before I dive in, please subscribe and like this video, like right now. Let's start with Mary and Janelle. Janelle and Mary's feud dates back to like the 90s. Janelle was married to Mary's brother, Adam, and when their marriage ended, sparks began to fly, and Cody and Janelle started courting. So immediately, Janelle said that when she met Cody, she had the strangest feeling and felt as if she had forgotten something and suddenly remembered it. Kind of like how people describe, soulmate situations. It's been said now in another teaser, David is now on the couch. I repeat, David is getting interviewed. He hasn't even been on an episode yet. And Suki asks him what he thinks of Cody. Now, obviously, he has to watch what he says here. This is a delicate kind of hot seat question because Cody's going to see this. He says, well, Cody wears his heart on his sleeve. And maybe he should not put it all, out there like that. He wants you to hear him, David says. And, he says that he wouldn't be like that. That's like the nicest way to say Cody's an absolute lunatic I've ever heard. Cody says that for David's sake, Christine has to destroy his character. As if he really didn't do that himself. But anyway, for David to be okay because otherwise it's like she left a good man. He says that he vetted Robin hard to make sure she didn't leave a good man, basically insinuating maybe that David may not have vetted Christine, or maybe there was just less vetting overall in that situation, less than he did with Robin. Cody says he doesn't even know David, and he hopes that Christine is choosing well, and he says it again, I hope she's choosing well, kind of hinting that he's not so sure, maybe. I mean, I see some veiled shade. I don't think Cody is convinced that Christine is making the right decision, but he's dancing around that a little bit, and I don't think David is as nicey towards Cody at all in private based on what I'm seeing. He watches the show with Christine, for God's sakes. He does say at the end that when he was dating women, this is David saying this, which makes it sound like he was quite the dater or something. I don't know. But he says that when he was dating people, that his kids always came first, which in David language could mean I wouldn't have let a woman, aka Robin, get in between his kids like Cody has. But props to David for going to the tell-all at all and being part of this whole mess. He seems to be, like a willing participant, and that's probably a good thing. And yet another hesitant to me. She didn't really give an answer, but Jen was quick to say, no more polygamy. And I cannot wait until Mary finds someone nice. That will bring me so much joy, honestly. And episode 12 is called Can't See the Forests for the Trees. And this might be a reference to the whole tree debacle with Mary. Who knows? But it says, Christine throws a 1950s themed party for her 50th birthday and admits she's dating again. Cody checks out Janelle's new apartment but realizes she's planning a future without him. Mary worries about big changes in her life with both the BNB and Cody. So a lot of change this season for sure. And I know the show is kind of dark this season. I'll fully admit that, but with some happy moments. I mean, the twins, Peyton's on camera, seeing some of the kids. Garrison is thriving and owning a house. I mean, these things are still positive for me. And stay tuned because I'll have the full recap of Sister Wives Season 18, Episode 11 up as soon as I can this weekend. All right, guys, have a great night, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye! This is my recap and reaction to Sister Wives Season 18, Episode 10. The episode starts with some gentle music and the Coyote Pass woodlands. So Janelle says that she's having an Easter celebration with Christine, and we learned something kind of weird, that actually Cody had banned Easter for a long time because he thought it was too pagan. He insisted that they only celebrate Passover. So this is how it went for years and years and years. Mary was fine with giving up Easter, and so was Janelle. And when Robin came into the family, surprise, surprise, she wanted to actually go to her mom's house to celebrate Easter because the kids did celebrate it, and Cody didn't want her to leave. So Christine says that she had a lot of leverage and brought back Easter. So the Easter Bunny can thank Robin. She brought back Easter, and she also brought back earrings, remember? So Christine said maybe she had more leverage because Cody was in love with her. I don't know. And holy crap, Valentine's Day this year is complicated and horrible. And Mary says, I'm not doing a damn thing. You have to have a Valentine to celebrate. Aw, like, that's so sad for Mary. She probably, she wishes she probably would be on a good track with Cody. I just remember that Cody used to come in with like 4 bouquets of flowers historically in other seasons, and they all very carefully on Valentine's Day would act like not too lovey-dovey when they accepted the flowers, except Robin. She would do the whole thing. She would kiss him, etc. Christine announces that she's hired a matchmaker. She wants a bald, tattooed man, basically the anti-Cody. The matchmaker said that she should not say she has 6 kids right away, just that she has some kids. But I mean, any guy will Google her before the date, so I'm pretty sure they would know anyway. Now, Janelle looks super anxious. She's doing the close-up selfie video from her phone again. And it's time for her to meet with Cody for the first time since their big fight. Janelle shows up to the restaurant and says that she's not pining or missing Cody right now in her confessional. Cody asks for a hug when he comes in, and they kind of awkwardly hug, and he says, "So, how are you?" She says, "Good." He says, "Are you good?" He probably expects her to have been heartbroken for 6 weeks and just been pining for him all this time, but that's not the case. Cody quickly blames his behavior on the divorce, how it's impacting his relationships, and he realizes that he's not a safe place for Janelle right now. He's transmuting his pain into anger, he says. Janelle's just not buying it at all. It gets awful quiet, there's awkward silences, and Janelle just gets to the main message, which is that she wants to stay separated for now. This is clearly kind of what she came here to say, and Cody had a different idea. I think, honestly, Cody thought they were going to reconcile at this sit-down, but fact of the matter is, her house in the evening for her, and Robin knew what was going on. And she says, I'm not going to trust someone who wants a family, but is okay with Cody being only at their house. Robin says that, she tried so hard with Christine and says that her and Christine had potential to be really close, and she didn't understand why they couldn't be. And she's heartbroken by it, and she's crying, kind of putting the blame on Christine a little bit. So this is like a freaking smear campaign against Christine this whole conversation, and I'm irritated by it so much. Christine says that the therapy sessions in Vegas, she says that Robin would deny that Cody was at her house the most, and Christine would have rejected her friendship anyway because, I mean, how can you trust someone that just lies to your face like that? And Robin's still doing it, and it is so irritating. I understand how Christine feels. Janelle says that Cody always implied that she needs to be a better sister wife to Robin, and Janelle thought that, you know, if this has to happen, it's really not going to work. She recalls a time when basically she had called Robin before they bought their house to kind of let her know that she thought it would be a disaster for their family finances. Robin had clearly told Cody about the conversation, and he held that against her later on. Robin starts to cry that Christmas was a cheap version of what the family used to be. She said, you know, she needs a reason why my family got blown up to smithereens. And okay, so next scene, they're actually planning Christine's 50th birthday party and who should be invited. You can probably guess who's not invited at this point: Mary, Robin, and Cody, because they just keep doing shady things like in this episode. Mary, meanwhile, is making big changes. She's going to move her clothing business to southern Utah, and she's nervous to tell Robin about it because, you know, Robin's going to think that she's leaving the family too. So she only told her BFF Jen. Mary says Cody's not going to. This goes to show the delay here. So for fans of the show who follow Mykelti at all, this was not a shock. It was just nice to see the moment where this happened. And the first thing she says, Christine says, is, "Are you excited to only get pregnant one more time?" Mykelti says, "Yes, we're done after this." So I guess Mykelti is not going to have 6 kids like her mom. Just wild guess. But I found it interesting. That's the first kind of thing that she was talking about here. So Peyton is like, "Mom, you can hold one as Mykelti holds one." And this made me laugh. It was kind of stating the obvious, and we just love Peyton. And then she shows the iPhone recording the scene, the sonogram for the whole world on national television to watch. Her uterus is out there. I mean, this is an exciting twist, but so far back in the past that I cannot. Here's a look at the twins now, actually, at a pumpkin patch. They recently went to one. Mykelti said under this post, "All leaves and pumpkins, please. Last year, these boys were very uncomfortably inside my womb, and now they're almost 1. It's crazy how fast life passes you by. What an incredible year this has been. I'm overjoyed, looking forward to the next years." Mykelti is truly thriving as a mom of 3, and Tony, I mean, we all love Tony. He's such a good partner for her. Now, let's get to the episode descriptions for episodes 11 and 12. So, episode 11 is called Airing the Dirty Laundry, and that is airing this weekend. It says, Christine is ecstatic when Mykelti tells her she's having twins. Then, Mary reveals that while out for their anniversary, Cody finally admitted he no longer wants a relationship with her, and she is forced to consider ending her marriage for good. This hope that Mary keeps talking about on camera is just so heartbreaking and triggering. She needs to completely break free. So on Fridays with Friends with Jen that she films on Instagram, someone had asked her recently if she would ever consider polygamy again, and Mary kind of seeped me. "I gave birth to Truly and was suffering from extreme postpartum depression. I never thought I'd feel such a sense of loss and such crippling jealousy. I thought I was better and stronger than that. I really did." And the jealousy kind of continued. Christine had a major issue with Cody picking Robin's wedding dress, and the fact that they went on a 10-day honeymoon and kissed before marriage. The 10-day honeymoon, by the way, they went on, I mean, she had Christine had a newborn at home, so she was kind of in a vulnerable stage for sure, but I completely understand. For Christine, it was just always super hard for her to see a functional marriage for Robin while hers was kind of struggling, which is completely understandable. It would have driven me nuts too. And therefore, Robin and Christine just never connected or something. And when Christine left the family, she made it clear that she needed space and told Robin that. Robin took it so personally, crying in the driveway and all that. It did not go well. Christine also notoriously called out Robin for having a nanny during the pandemic. She couldn't understand what the nanny actually did. What does the nanny do? The famous line, which makes sense because if you think about it, Christine used to raise like 12 kids and 3 of Robin's kids are fully grown. So the nanny can only really be for the 2. And Robin doesn't have a job, only the show. So she has a bunch of free time. I mean, we're assuming, or by perception, it may not be true, but anyways. And finally, let's go to the feud between Cody and his sons Garrison and Gabriel. This one, I would argue, totally caused by Cody getting crazy during the pandemic or something. Or anyways, big conflict there. The whole thing goes that Gabriel insisted that he and his girlfriend Peyton should be able to see each other during the pandemic. And Cody was super worried about it. He basically was saying, if you see your girlfriend, I can't come over and see your mom. Gabriel and Cody were at a complete impasse about the rules, and Gabriel even kind of talked about how he thought maybe Robin made up the rules. It was a whole thing. And then Cody called Gabriel when he was sick. Just boss ladies doing their thing. I think the Kardashians were even there. Imagine Christine interacting with the Kardashians. This is her level now. So that's so cool. Christine went to New York this month and visited her sister, and they had this cute double date situation going on. Christine has been traveling a whole lot lately, and someone in her comments said, "Did you save your grocery money for this trip?" Which is a clear reference to when Cody told Christine if she wanted to go on a trip, she had to save her grocery money. This was back when she was babysitting or watching like A Million Children, and that scene did not age well. And David replied in Christine's comments and said, "Nope, spent the kids' Christmas money." David is just trolling the trolls, people. And that's not all. He was still in Christine's comments this month when she posted this picture just saying how she loves monogamy now. She had said, I was always concerned I would lose my independence in monogamy. I realized the other day, being married to the right person, David for me, that I am more independent than I ever was." And David said below in her comments, "Had surgery last Friday. I've never been taken care of like Christine has done for me. I have the best wife and soulmate that anyone could ever have. She is my angel. Love you so much, Christine Woolley." Notice how he called her Christine Woolley and not Brown. I don't know if she changed her name. I feel like probably not for the show even, but maybe we'll find out later. Mykelti and Tony, meanwhile, went to LA for the weekend recently for a wedding, and they had a nice couples weekend. And they both look great, by the way. They've lost so much weight. I can't even believe it. And Mykelti had said, "Every small moment has built our relationship stronger. Getting away to appreciate my husband and the life we've built together was wonderful. So yeah, more LA weekend photo spam." And Isabel, Mykelti, and Aspen spent some good sister time together lately as well. Mykelti has been very open on her Patreon about so much. Just came out as just crazy and everything. I don't know whether or not to be happy that the show is back or literally cry because the family is like so messed up right now. I have a full video breakdown of the teaser and I'll link that in the description. But basically, there are 2 really explosive moments in the teaser that I'm sure made the cameraman like squirm. Janelle tells Cody to shut his effing mouth. and Robin freaks out in tears about, her dream of the porch, and having her sister wives there with her kids and grandkids, which is kind of interesting and also makes no sense. I don't think she'd actually want to be on the porch with them, to be honest. They never hung out in the first place. Maybe with Mary, but I guess everyone has a dream about growing older and what that looks like, and that was it for Robin. One thing that I do want to see in season 18 is some type of confrontation between the wives and Robin. Robin has never really been confronted by the wives on camera, just kind of talked about a little bit, And so, maybe things would be clearer if they actually had a real conversation between the wives, and maybe Nancy can come down for that. Remember their therapist, Nancy? Just saying, it may help. They might need reinforcements because, communication doesn't seem to be the best all the time between them. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching the whole way through to my Sister Wives update for July 2023. Please leave a comment, like this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more updates. Bye, guys!
I wanted to sit on a porch with my sister wives, with our kids and our grandkids.
Hi guys, it's finally here! The Sister Wives Season 18 teaser, or first look as they say, just dropped, and it's crazy intense and filled with drama. Everyone's angry, the whole family is just falling apart, and Robin is having a full-on fit. So let's break it down because there's a lot to talk about. Watch until the very end for the premiere date, and don't forget to like and subscribe. So the teaser starts with Janelle asking to give a rat's ass, and Robin has been begging Mary to stay for so long. I think this is probably the scene where Robin loses it. So Mary plans to spend more concentrated time at the B&B. She doesn't really say that she's never going to be in Flagstaff or anything like that. She says she's not leaving the family and she's not leaving Cody. But the whole thing is just very sad. Mary says that she's never had a conversation with Cody about their relationship and how, it can probably never recover, but she's heard him say things, basically probably in confessionals, because he does say that in confessionals at every opportunity. I'm just happy Mary's finally leaving. She's not fully admitting to leaving, really. She's just saying she's moving her business. But this is a clear step in the right direction. Let me know what you thought of the episode, Sister Wives Season 18, Episode 5, in the comments. Bye, guys!
I don't think he understands how easy it would be to fix this. All he needs to do is see his kids, make phone. Oh my gosh, it's just.
Let's talk about the sneak peeks for Sister Wives Season 18, Episode 5. This episode will be called When the Going Gets Tough. I also have a spoiler for Episode 6. In the new teaser from Entertainment Tonight, looks like Christine drops by to check in on Janelle, and Janelle is actually considering moving to Utah. She says she could join a church there, maybe, but she's not really sure because she still has kids and attachments in Flagstaff. She's kind of stuck between both worlds and, is at a standstill. She says that plural marriage, when couples don't get along because they don't really believe in divorce, it takes a lot for them to get a quote-unquote release. So, I guess Janelle's probably going to take more time than Christine did. Christine is fuming mad that Cody did not visit Savannah or invite her over during Christmas, almost in a way to punish Janelle. To me it seemed like. He lives half an hour away, she says, and comes into town. But Savannah actually says in the bam, direct shade right at Cody. Now it gets even darker, believe it or not, with Cody literally saying something he probably should have told his therapist, not national television, but he wonders what happened to him when he feels relief when a woman is leaving him. He says he just wants to be a DICK for a little bit, and he has this big urge to be mean, and he's fighting it. He doesn't like who he is anymore and says, I should just be the devil she thinks I am now. He says that he's thought about running away, changing his name, and starting over, but he says that his 2 younger kids love him back, and that's what's stopping him. The fact that he says only those 2 younger ones loving him back are stopping him is scary, honestly, because he has so many other family members. Like, what about them? Mary says, I think he regrets marrying me and Christine, not sure about Janelle. I mean, that is such a sad thing to say. I wonder if he told her that or something. Like, why would she just blurt that out, you know? Maybe, I guess it's her opinion. Christine and Janelle have their kids together in a vacation rental. There's like this moment where they're throwing snow at each other. Gabriel says, we have a whole relationship with Christine and her kids. Gabe feels like Cody and Robin didn't make enough of an effort. He feels neglected. And Robin flips it and says, while crying, Janelle's boys did not want to be around us. And that's heartbreaking. If I thought they were open to it, I would have pushed. Why not push anyway? Because that's just the right thing to do. Mykelti, Truly, and Isabel actually ended up going over to Cody and Robin's, and Mykelti apparently has made it clear that she's neutral, she's the bridge, so she probably brought her siblings over for a visit. I think they actually ended up sleeping over, but at least they did get some time with Cody. I don't know about Savannah, like, where's Savannah? She was a minor, and she didn't get her time with Cody, so that was weird. But anyways, that is my recap for season 18. Like, what is up with that? And they say how he used to be bold and didn't let people control him, alluding to the fact that maybe he's letting Robin control him, and they don't like it, clearly. And now let's talk about episode 8's description. This is next week's, so this is a spoiler. It's called The Writing on the Wall. Cody takes Janelle out for her birthday and talks about wanting to start over. Mary reveals to Cody that she's moving her clothing business to Utah but not giving up on their relationship. And his reaction is worse than expected. Yikes. Oh gosh, so it looks like Cody wants to save the Janelle relationship, but still not Mary's, no matter how hard Mary wants that to work. I wonder how Janelle will be responding to Cody's birthday attempt, right? Like, I'd be curious to see if she falls for it or not. All right, guys, thank you for watching my teaser analysis for season 18, episode 7, and I'll be back with the full recap for the episode. This is my recap and reaction to Sister Wives Season 18, Episode 6. In this episode, Cody and Janelle have a really weird meetup. Mary plans her escape from Flagstaff, and Cody calls himself hot. Yes, really. The episode begins, and they're still flashing back, for God's sakes, to the big fight between Janelle and Cody. The flashbacks happen twice, at the beginning of the episode and in the middle. Like, how many times do we need to see this? It's etched in my mind at this point. It's winter, and Christine is having a Valentine's Day paint night with her kids, which means it's February 2022. We're moving up in the timeline a little bit. They're painting a tree with leaves to it. It's cute, and Christine is still such a mama bear, organizing craft activities for her kids after all these years. Christine talks about how awkward Valentine's Day is for polygamous families, and they kind of never knew what to do with it. Robin says it's tricky, and his confessionals for years. They play a clip about how Cody apparently used to be different and how he's different now. He used to be happy-go-lucky, and all the wives kind of say in their own way he's just not the same person. And the clip where Cody basically says he wants to run away from his life, it's actually a really dark and sad clip, that one, actually. And Mary's like, that doesn't concern me anymore. Robin says that Cody tries to sabotage their relationship. Cody's angry, although Mykelti did say he's gotten a bit better with his anger, but I do not see that yet, but okay. Cody says he was sabotaging his relationship with Robin to punish himself. Also, there were dark winds that were going through him, and it was actually scaring Robin, and his anger had become a turnoff. There were a lot of dark winds going through him, he says, and it was actually scaring Robin, and his anger became a turnoff, and it probably still is. I mean, come on. Janelle says that a lot of his talk or narrative has become about Robin. He's like fixated, and he always started to frame things as if Robin did everything right. Janelle says that she couldn't even say anything to him about Robin ever. It was off limits, which is weird for a marriage. You're supposed to confide and talk about everything. Cody says that he was equitable with his time when he's pressed by Suki. Okay, is he just gonna lie like that? Come on, Suki, you need to call him out a little bit more on this. This is a blatant lie. What is up with Cody and Robin trying to bamboozle America and the other wives to think that Cody was equitable with his time? I am done with this facade. Obviously, the time wasn't equitable, okay? Just fess up. It's okay, like, no one's together anymore. It doesn't matter. Like, the gig is up. Either way, Cody was getting so sick of complaints about Robin that he said he wanted to hit people in the mouth if they said anything about her, which is pretty bold and terrible to say because, first of all, he's talking about the other wives, I feel, right now. So that's wrong. Arrives to Garrison's house, and Garrison says, "We've got pie." And then they have pie, and Christine is like, "Can I ask what happened on the text exchange?" Gwen says that Robin wanted to do a Zoom because Ariella was forgetting who they are, which is like some backhanded passive aggressiveness right there. Garrison says Robin made it all about herself, and she says, there's past trauma here. And Gwendolyn says, where's the trauma? Because Cody prefers them. Am I right? Like, the whole trauma narrative is another narrative that we just cannot get rid of here. And here comes the story we've heard a million times about how Robin says that when they were blending families, there was no support and they're traumatized. Brianna and Aurora say that they were hurt and confused and had heard that the other siblings were thinking of having a Christmas without them. But who told them that, and is that accurate? Because is this like Robin and Cody saying stuff that's not true to... I don't know. That's weird. Robin says, I got attitude from the older kids and it felt defeating. We felt like we got voted off the island. She then told Mykelti and Logan apparently to communicate with the other kids that they weren't going to participate in the gift exchange, and a line was drawn that day. Garrison says that she turned it into her victimizing herself when it was just about trying to do an exchange, and they say she was basically gaslighting everybody. Not surprised. Garrison says Robin is the catalyst of all this, turning herself into a victim. And Cody says, all of you are jerks, and I don't want to call them, and I don't want to talk to them. Garrison says Robin's mad that she can't have this effect on them anymore. And he's like, have him, Robin. We're all grown adults. The fact that in this scene, Cody says he actually doesn't want to talk to them just breaks my heart. I don't know. That scene was just really toxic. Christine says that she wishes things were better, but she doesn't even know what to say. She says, I may not be able to give them a dad, but I give them Janelle. Oh. And Cody says that Christine was a crap sister wife. What Janelle means by local-ish. I mean, ish, but still far away. The article said, all signs point to the fact that Hunter may have, in fact, moved back to Las Vegas. In a recent Instagram post from his brother Logan's wedding, it was noted in the comments by his girlfriend's sister that they were the hottest new couple in Vegas. A quick search also shows that Hunter is working as a nurse within the Valley healthcare system. Go figure. But he's in good company in Vegas though, because Logan and his wife Michelle are there as well. So he has family there. Logan and Michelle are newly married. They have a new house, but otherwise they kind of want a quiet life and their Instagram accounts are private. So, all right, let's go to Maddie, Janelle, and Cody's oldest daughter. So we all know that Maddie still sells Plexus, just like her mom, Janelle. Maddie celebrated Limb Differences Month this month by sharing that her daughter, Evie, will be getting a new prosthetic soon. So seems like as she grows, she needs new prosthetics. She also shared that thankfully Caleb's insurance covers the cost of the prosthetic because people had questions about cost apparently, and that they had no genetic cause to Evie's limb difference. And so for her to have kids that have the same condition, it would be like winning the lottery. The odds would be very, very slim. I think it's great that Maddie is sharing her journey with all of us. Speaking of Evie, in a post, Maddie referred to her as Evie Love, which made friends freak out and question if she changed her middle name because it used to be Evie Cody, if you remember. I used to think Maddie was actually Cody's favorite back in the day. It just kind of seemed that way. So if there's a rift between Maddie and Cody, that would be really weird and also really sad. Now let's go to Gwendolyn, Christine's daughter. Lately, she actually went to Cabo in Mexico on a vacation with her fiance Beatrice, and People magazine published an article about her most savage or controversial quotes from her reviewing season 17 of Sister Wives on her YouTube channel, because she is doing that. And number 8, and something I did not know, is that prior to Robin, on and off they would talk about maybe having another wife. A couple of women actually wanted to join the family. One of them wanted Cody alone, so that wasn't going to work for them. And one of the others, it was going fine, but abruptly ended for unknown reasons, I don't know. So a little bit of history there. I guess they were more open to having a new wife than I thought initially. I thought they just kind of stumbled upon Robin or something. I'll leave a link to the full interview in my description, but overall, this was such a good interview and juicy scoop, I thought. Let me know if you guys listened to it and what your thoughts are. Maybe, if there's a point that you thought was extra interesting, let me know, and I'll be back with more Sister Wives content. Bye, guys! This is a Sister Wives update for December 2023. We're diving into what Mary, Janelle, Cody, Robin, and Christine are up to this month, and there's a lot of drama and news to talk about. And stay tuned until the end of this video to find out what the family will be doing for Christmas this year. Let's start with Christine. So love is in the air, and Christine is getting her own spin-off, a wedding special. This month, TLC announced that the 2-part special set to air in January will be dedicated to Christine and David's nuptials, which took place on October 7th in Moab, Utah. So we'll get to see Christine finally get her dream wedding, a nice wedding dress, the whole hoopla, and of course Peyton and her dad walked her down the aisle. So part 1 of the special will air on January 7th, followed by part 2 on January 14th, so pretty early on in 2024. And Christine is just taking the world by storm. She was named one of reality TV's top 40 most powerful women by Variety magazine. And none of the other wives were chosen, obviously, and she attended a special dinner and event with other amazing women in reality TV, like a lot of the Real Housewives, and yes, Sacred Loneliness. It's a way to be closer to God. What? Clearly, Robin is still drinking the Kool-Aid, and Mary hasn't heard this before, so because of that, this is probably BS. I mean, Mary was the first wife. She brought the wives in. She's from a fully plural family from the beginning. She would know if sacred loneliness was actually a thing. If Mary doesn't know about it, it's probably BS. Cody is going back in time, and this next thing kind of blew me away a little bit. He emphasizes that he courted Robin and Mary, but Janelle and Christine asked to be in the family, as if they're second-class wives or something. This goes back to the time when I think he imitated Christine being like a dog panting to be in the family. In my opinion, he's trying to say that Christine and Janelle were thirsty to get in the family, and they should have been happy with what they got. Easy to say when things are falling apart. I've never heard him talk like this. And somehow, because Robin was invited into the family and courted, she's somehow, elevated or something. I don't know. This rubs me the wrong way. It's very degrading vibes over here. Janelle and Christine combined have like 12 of Cody's kids, and for him to be portraying them as thirsty to be in the family is just... it just hits as degrading. They raised 12 of his kids. Amazing kids. Then Nathan, Cody's friend, they're driving, and Nathan is giving his deep thoughts on marriage. I don't even know why he's doing this. Nathan is a polygamist. I think he's married to Mary's sister and another wife. Anyways, he says that marriage is about the woman's right to choose who she wants to father her children. And that if it's a married man, then be it. It's fine. And if she wants to leave, she should also choose. I'm going to reserve judgment because Nathan seems like a likable guy. So, until I see more, bam, direct shade right at Cody. Now it gets even darker, believe it or not, with Cody literally saying something he probably should have told his therapist, not national television, but he wonders what happened to him when he feels relief when a woman is leaving him. He says he just wants to be a DICK for a little bit, and he has this big urge to be mean, and he's fighting it. He doesn't like who he is anymore, and says, I should just be the devil she thinks I am now. He says that he's thought about running away, changing his name, and starting over, but he says that his 2 younger kids love him back, and that's what's stopping him. The fact that he says only those 2 younger ones loving him back are stopping him is scary, honestly, because he has so many other family members. Like, what about them? Mary says, I think he regrets marrying me and Christine, not sure about Janelle. I mean, that is such a sad thing to say. I wonder if he told her that or something. Like, why would she just blurt that out, Maybe, I guess it's her opinion. Christine and Janelle have their kids together in a vacation rental. There's like this moment where they're throwing snow at each other. Gabriel says, we have a whole relationship with Christine and her kids. Gabe feels like Cody and Robin didn't make enough of an effort. He feels neglected. And Robin flips it and says, while crying, Janelle's boys did not want to be around us. And that's heartbreaking. If I thought they were open to it, I would have pushed. Why not push anyway? Because that's just the right thing to do. Mykelti, Truly, and Isabel actually ended up going over to Cody and Robin's, and Mykelti apparently has made it clear that she's neutral, she's the bridge, so she probably brought her siblings over for a visit. I think they actually ended up sleeping over, but at least they did get some time with Cody. I don't know about Savannah, where's Savannah? She was a minor, and she didn't get her time with Cody, so that was weird. But anyways, that is my recap for season 18. Garrison says that the text thread was the point where they stopped caring, and Gwen is like, if we had a face-to-face with Robin, she would probably manipulate us and cry. Okay, so it's getting savage. There's a lot of like, I think they might be showing them these scenes in confessionals, and they're just like fighting back. And on that note, it's Avalon, Mykelti's daughter's birthday. They just shoved that scene in there, and her party is at Robin's house. Cody just loves how Mykelti is warm to them. Apparently Tony loves Robin. They're connected, and they get each other. And I had no idea about this. And Robin says he's a good kid. And they start talking about how Robin saved Mykelti from her siblings being mean to her or something like that. But again, we've heard this before. This is not a new fact. Christine's Flagstaff friends now are celebrating her anniversary with Cody. It would have been married since 1994, so I mean almost roughly 30 years. These are moms that she had met through Isabel, and Christine says you have to find a new identity when you're divorced, and it's super important to find good people. Cody calls in the middle of the conversation, which is super weird because it's their anniversary and he obviously knows that. And she goes on for a little bit about how, you know, she's a big fan of divorce. She says, like, basically, if you think you need to divorce, do it, you know. She highly recommends it. And I think Christine feels liberated. It's almost like she was in a prison and now she's free. Like, it just, for her, definitely was a good experience to divorce. The nosiest friend at this dinner asked Janelle how she is hearing what Christine is saying. And Janelle says that it does not bother her. She doesn't care, and she doesn't feel much loyalty to Cody right now. Janelle tells them that things are pretty okay with Cody. She just met them, and she's just not the type to, like, spill the beans, so she's definitely holding back. And Christine says that her tipping point was that he wasn't being a good dad to her kids. Cody says in a scene that Christine basically forced herself in his life, and he does say relationship with the older kids, and nobody's buying that. Robin, we're not buying what you're selling in this scene, just saying. And Mykelti on her Patreon did say, I remember, that Janelle's kids were the favorites and that they had the most power, whatever that means. That's actually Tony that said that. And they were the most affected by Cody's weird parental behavior because essentially there was more to lose there. Christine's kids were less affected because they never probably had a great relationship with him. And that's sad. Garrison says in the teaser that since he last talked to his dad, he bought a house, a car, and got into school, and all these things happened without him knowing or saying good job, what have you. But Cody claims to be blocked by them, and Mykelti also said that some siblings have blocked him. So ding ding ding, we probably know who the blockers are. It's exactly who we thought, Gabriel and Garrison, allegedly. In this case, though, is it fair to blame Cody? Because he can reach out, but, you know, they're not answering, they're blocked. So, anyways, just a thought there. Next teaser, it's Avalon's birthday. Mykelti brought Avalon over for a party, and Cody just gushes about how he loves that Mykelti is warm to them still. Cody says that he thinks it has to do with Tony. He says that Tony loves Robin, and Robin says that she and Tony get each other and that she really likes him. Did not know that, honestly. And we learned that Mykelti wasn't treated very well by her older siblings growing up, and Robin wanted to help, so she took Mykelti in and tried to really be a mom for her. So, I mean, that's nice. I have to give that to Robin, and so it all makes sense. Robin stuck up for Mykelti when no one probably really was, and so it makes sense to me that Mykelti would now stick up for her in return. This is kind of obvious in the on her Patreon, to me anyway. Teaser 3. Christine is with some girlfriends having wine and celebrating her X-versary. So I guess the season 18 episode 6, they're really good. And guess what? There are four teasers, guys. I'll also talk about the description for episode 7. Teaser 1. Cody and Janelle meet for the first time since their big Christmas fight where Janelle told Cody, F you, and they're back at the same restaurant that Christine and Cody met at in episode 1, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's the Mexican place with the red walls. This teaser is from People magazine, and it starts with Janelle basically saying that Cody needs to be a man and stop saying that the relationship is crap because Christine left. This is a new outfit for Janelle, by the way, in her confessional, and from the sounds of it, it probably was filmed after she left Cody because the gloves are off in this confessional. She says, separate your relationships and pay attention. The awkward silence at the restaurant is so deafening and cringe. It's so awkward. Janelle says that she wants to stay separated for now. Cody is shocked for some reason. She does offer the idea of counseling and says that she's not throwing in the towel yet, but she wants to be separate so she can clearly think about what she needs out of the relationship moving forward. And then Cody goes on the same old tangent about how Christine blindsided him. And Janelle says in her confessional she's not buying that because she says, and I quote, he's been telling me for years that he wasn't attracted to Christine and that he was struggling in their marriage. Janelle says, I would have left his ass the first time he said that to me. Boom! I love this new confessional vibe for Janelle, honestly. She's way more aggressive with it, let's say. I mean, staying in a relationship where your husband is literally telling the world and other wives that he's not attracted to you, I can't think of anything more degrading. It's beyond. I mean, come on. Anyone with self-respect would have left. Cody can't say a thing. And by the way, Christine is so pretty. I think she's gorgeous. From that too, please bring Mary into the spin-off conversation. And finally, an E! News teaser. They released a clip showing kind of the beginnings of the Janelle and Cody big fight scene. We're all definitely tuning in for this in episode 3, and the conversation is a lot about the boys, and Janelle is really standing up for herself here. She's triggered by Cody putting the blame on her and explicitly telling her, you know, this is on you, Janelle, which is of course not true. So Janelle says that Cody should call the boys and talk to them. Why is he putting her in the middle of everything? She says he's the parent too. Cody says the phone goes both ways. Okay, but I mean, Cody's the parent. I would not expect my kid to call me to resolve things. That's kind of weird. Janelle says, you always flip these things on me. And he says, it belongs on you, Janelle. Oh, dang. Janelle was not ready or did not want to accept that at all. She then says, why does it belong on me? Why does it belong on me? Oh no, like things are going, you can see things are going downhill from here. And he says, because you didn't support my stand when we had the virus rules. I mean, biggest eye roll ever. This again? Can we not about the rules? I just cannot. The dang rules about wiping your mail. I mean, come on. Janelle says that he had told her at the time to choose her loyalty or she wouldn't have a husband. So she says, what am I supposed to do? Choose between you and my children? Cody says, you're gaslighting me. And Janelle says, no, you're gaslighting me. Gaslighting is such a buzzword right now. I don't even know. And Janelle is like, whatever I did, it just was not good enough. And then that clip stops, but we know things escalate, and I can see how. Now it's another clip. Okay, so there's so many teasers, it's really hard to keep track, but there's actually a clip posted, I think it's anyways, on another website, and then it links to a TLC clip where Cody says, agreed with me, but I mean, now that more of the wives left, the poor graphic designer at TLC that has to figure this out, like, how do they do the group shot? Well, apparently in a rainbow shape with broken glass cracks everywhere. I guess this is a metaphor, but it really looks like a horror movie poster, like all the cracks and everything. It's a mess. Robin is, in her picture, looking far away somewhere like she's daydreaming about her porch with her sister wives and grandkids. That's never gonna happen, you know? I don't know, but why couldn't she be looking somewhere even remotely close to the camera? Also, these look awfully familiar, almost like they're recycled pictures from last season, because they probably were not into getting together for another photo shoot or something like that. I don't know. The new teaser, I guess teaser part 2, needs to also be broken down because they released it, and historically the teaser basically shows us the big moments. There's rarely been like huge surprises with these teasers. Typically it looks like some of the season is taking place around Christmas, but I mean, is it last Christmas? It cannot be Christmas 2021 or I will freak out. And still no David in the teasers yet. The new trailer that they just released starts with Christine basically saying point blank that she left because Cody had favorites. No one is surprised by this, but I'm surprised that it sounded like she said favorites, like plural. Who is the other favorite? I feel like she still meant only Robin. Maybe that was like just kind of like a slip, but anyways, just something I noticed. Mary says that she heard Cody refer to her as a friend. Like, Mary at this point is still holding on for some reason, grasping at anything at this point, and I cannot wait until the moment on the show where we don't need to watch these moments and she just wakes up and gets the heck away from Cody. He does not deserve you, Mary. And the confessionals just came out as just crazy and everything. I don't know whether or not to be happy that the show is back or literally cry because the family is like so messed up right now. I have a full video breakdown of the teaser and I'll link that in the description, but basically there are 2 really explosive moments in the teaser that I'm sure made the cameraman like squirm. Janelle tells Cody to shut his effing mouth, and Robin freaks out in tears about, her dream of the porch and having her sister wives there with her kids and grandkids, which is kind of interesting and also makes no sense. I don't think she'd actually want to be on the porch with them, to be honest. They like never hung out in the first place. Maybe with Mary, but I guess everyone has a dream about like growing older and what that looks like, and that was it for Robin. One thing that I do want to see in season 18 is some type of confrontation between the wives and Robin. Robin has never really been confronted by the wives on camera, just kind of like talked about a little bit, you know? And so, maybe things would be clearer if they actually had a real conversation between the wives, and maybe Nancy can come down for that. Remember their therapist, Nancy? Just saying, I mean, it may help. They might need reinforcements because, communication doesn't seem to be the best all the time between them. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching the whole way through to my Sister Wives update for July 2023. Please leave a comment, like this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more updates. Bye, guys!
I wanted to sit on a porch with my sister wives, with our kids and our grandkids.
Hi guys, it's finally here! The Sister Wives Season 18 teaser, or first look as they say, just dropped, and it's crazy intense and filled with drama. Everyone's angry, the whole family is just falling apart, and Robin is having a full-on fit. So let's break it down because there's a lot to talk about. Watch until the very end for the premiere date, and don't forget to like and subscribe. So the teaser starts with Janelle decides to call out something she sees right in front of her, and that is that Cody is wearing a new huge ring where his Claddagh wedding ring used to be. Nobody wants to explain what this new ring is and how it got there. It's highly sus, and it's just not something they want to talk about on camera for some reason. Cody almost makes fun of Mary for bringing this up, but any woman would call this out. There's another ring where his wedding ring used to be. Like, what gives? Next scene is with Christine. She's visiting Garrison's new house that he bought himself, which is super exciting. And Janelle says that there's discussion about Gabe and Gwendolyn actually moving in as roommates. Christine says she's kind of reticent about Gwen moving in because they have very different political views and it sounds just problematic. Gwendolyn made a joke about needing a closet because she came out, and Christine just laughs so hard, and I can't tell if it's a nervous laugh or not. We finally do learn officially on the show that Gwen came out as bisexual, and we all know that she's married now, and I don't even think she ever moved in there, but I'm not entirely sure. Gabe says that the family just feels like everyone's abandoned ship in different lifeboats, and it's a good analogy, this one. This is Gabe's first confessional of the season, I believe, and he obviously got a haircut and looks good. Garrison quickly starts to declare that he's going to send them leases, and Janelle and Christine are co-signers, and so if they all get into a fight, they're still bound to pay rent. And Christine says it's about when they fight, not if. So she's not buying into this whole thing, and I doubt she ended up co-signing. Garrison's just out here trying to make some extra income in this economy, right? And the house is cute. It's a big accomplishment for him. Now we're back in Mary's house for this scene that will not end. And Cody's finally catching on that he's supposed to say, "Mary, stay here." And Cody brings up this random story about clothing racks, and Robin uses it to say, "See, people don't just remember old stories like that. There could be something." And she brings up scheduling time to see each other in Flagstaff, and Cody says, "And moving the business up there. Downsizing in Flagstaff," whatever that means. I don't know if she actually, to this day, has a rental or something in Flagstaff, or if she's just now fully in Utah. Robin is double checking, is this still your home? And she's just really wanting Mary to still want to be in Flagstaff. Mary says yes, but she's just gonna spend longer stretches of time in Utah, you know? So Robin just confides that she is now feeling very unsteady. Cody is different, everything is different, and she says that really the most steady thing is her relationship with Mary, although Mary said that Robin doesn't even call or text her much. So, you know, Mary wants to be around people who want to be around her, and who could blame her? Robin is like, "Let's not give up, okay?" Robin says, you know what, Robin, just call Mary once in a while then, if you want her to stay. Like, what are you talking about? Back to Janelle and Christine now at the Red Restaurant. Janelle says that she recently saw Nancy, their old therapist. Do you guys remember Nancy? I mean, nothing Nancy did worked. Let's just say that she was Christine and Cody's counselor, failed marriage there. She was Mary and Cody's counselor, failed marriage there. Every relationship Nancy counseled for the Browns fell apart. So, I mean, the track record is bad here, but Janelle saw Nancy anyway. And Janelle says, you know, what's happened is I'm growing and I need something different. I don't want to be married anymore. So she's kind of like in between two worlds of, you know, wanting to not be married to Cody anymore, but I think part of her still likes him, so it's weird. So next, the kids are, well, I should say Cody and Robin's kids are going to Coyote Pass to use the mini bikes they got for Christmas that Cody did not get the other kids. Of course, he only got them for Robin's children. Aurora's on a four-wheeler. They're riding around the deer pond where there's no sides to call out something she sees right in front of her, and that is that Cody is wearing a new huge ring where his Claddagh wedding ring used to be. Nobody wants to explain what this new ring is and how it got there. It's highly sus, and it's just not something they want to talk about on camera for some reason. Cody almost makes fun of Mary for bringing this up, but any woman would call this out. There's another ring where his wedding ring used to be. Like, what gives? Next scene is with Christine. She's visiting Garrison's new house that he bought himself, which is super exciting. And Janelle says that there's discussion about Gabe and Gwendolyn actually moving in as roommates. Christine says she's kind of reticent about Gwen moving in because they have very different political views and it sounds just problematic. Gwendolyn made a joke about needing a closet because she came out, and Christine just laughs so hard, and I can't tell if it's a nervous laugh or not. We finally do learn officially on the show that Gwen came out as bisexual, and we all know that she's married now, and I don't even think she ever moved in there, but I'm not entirely sure. Gabe says that the family just feels like everyone's abandoned ship in different lifeboats, and it's a good analogy, this one. This is Gabe's first confessional of the season, I believe, and he obviously got a haircut and looks good. Garrison quickly starts to declare that he's going to send them leases, and Janelle and Christine are co-signers, and so if they all get into a fight, they're still bound to pay rent. And Christine says it's about when they fight, not if. So she's not buying into this whole thing, and I doubt she ended up co-signing. Garrison's just out here trying to make some extra income in this economy, right? And the house is cute. It's a big accomplishment for him. Now we're back in Mary's house for this scene that will not end. And Cody's finally catching on that he's supposed to say, "Mary, stay here." And Cody brings up this random story about clothing racks, and Robin uses it to say, "See, people don't just remember old stories like that. There could be something." And she brings up scheduling time to see each other in Flagstaff, and Cody says, Johnny Appleseed, if you guys remember. Hunter Elias Brown. Word on the street is that Hunter also lives in Vegas. He works in healthcare. He has his master's in nursing from Johns Hopkins, and he has a girlfriend named Audrey. And this month, Hunter celebrated Audrey's birthday by bringing her to see Kelly Clarkson in concert. Actually, Gabriel and Logan were there too, and Hunter was also at Gwendolyn's wedding holding babies and all that too. He's also a fun uncle. So next, let's go to the oldest daughter of Janelle and Cody, Madison. So Maddie still lives in North Carolina with her husband Caleb and their family. Her baby Josephine, her third child, she calls her Joey, just turned 6 months old. This month, she went on a trip out of town with Caleb and his coworkers, I guess at like some retreat. And she said that apparently their truck was broken into during the night. So fun times, not. Madison sells for Plexus along with her mom, Janelle, and Janelle often visits Maddie, honestly. Actually, they were just together because Janelle went live randomly on Instagram for like just a few minutes to share a story that they were talking about something out loud and couldn't believe that like the next day a coupon came up on their phone for the same thing they were talking about. Cue the conspiracy theories about our phones listening to us. It was a short live and it was interesting, but evidence that Janelle and Maddie were together. Now let's go to Garrison. So Garrison recently went to Italy. I don't know if this was a solo trip or not, but he went to the Colosseum and spent time in Rome. We know that. He's still into photography, and word on the street is that Garrison may have a girlfriend, but he probably wants to keep her off social media. Who knows? I mean, people have varying degrees of needs in terms of privacy, right? Next, let's go to Gabe. So Gabriel is still in Flagstaff. He seems to hang out with Janelle a lot and helps her out with her trailer. Very likely still in law to dip her toes in the pond and get acquainted with her body. Not cringy at all. Christine is worried about her history and how messy it is. I mean, imagine if she goes on a date and the guy starts watching Sister Wives season 18 after that. Do you think he would call back, yes or no? I mean, it could intimidate some people for sure. Like the sit downs at that Mexican restaurant and stuff like that. Yikes. In another teaser, Janelle recalls that she felt like she knew Cody when she met him. She's kind of alluding to the fact that they're soulmates. And, she says that she's the one who brought it up to him that she wanted to be in his family. And he said something like, okay, let's pray about it. Janelle liked the way that he treated Mary, ironically, because, I mean, it's crazy. I thought he said he never loved Mary. Anyways, that was the lure for Janelle. He was a good husband to Mary, she thought. Which is ironic because I thought he said something about how he didn't love her. Anyways, Christine also says that she had a spiritual witness to marry Cody. And she kind of had a spiritual witness when she knew she had to leave. So I guess maybe her intuition's right on? I don't know. Janelle insists that she would actually do it all again, but that maybe their marriage has an expiration date, although she didn't think that marriages did. Janelle is, in my mind, being forced out, but she's in a weird limbo here because she's just not ready to fully step away, and it kind of looks like Cody's not ready to fully step away. It's like they have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So I guess we'll just see how it goes. I think that Mary is way farther down the path of breaking up. Now, let's go to the episode descriptions for the next few weeks, which for some reason I have trouble finding these sometimes on Reddit. I don't know why. But I got them, guys. It's episode 13, The Elephant in the Room. The official description says, Cody and Robin reunite with Janelle and Christine on a family video call to reveal the gender of McKelty's twins. In pair 1, Mary continues to struggle because things got toxic after he was saying stuff on lives and in interviews and stuff, or if he felt he went too far. I don't know. I mean, he did kind of insinuate that he thinks his mom is moving too fast and all these things and etc. So Christine also said that her and David got some engagement pictures done at a beautiful location. Can't wait to see the pics. Now let's talk about the headlines about Christine and let me know what you guys think is true out of all of these. So this one is from The Sun. It says, is Christine okay? Sister Wives Christine Brown looks somber as she cooks solo meal after she has been seen crying and ditching engagement ring. The article says that basically Christine was spotted without her engagement ring and wiping her face. Literally, it could have been an eyelash, but honestly, Christine is currently vacationing with David, so I don't really think there's trouble in paradise. That's my opinion. Maybe she had just talked to Cody, and that's why she's somber. I mean, could have been anything. Honestly, one cannot be chipper at all times. Sometimes things will happen. Sometimes you'll cry. And I don't think everyone likes to wear their rings, all the time, especially when they're, really expensive. Anyways, another article from OK Magazine said, Sister Wives star Christine Brown celebrates daughter's birthday without fiancé David Woolley following split rumors. Okay, so split rumors? Did I miss a Reddit post or something? Christine doesn't always do everything with David. Historically, she's with her kids without him a lot. I mean, is there some type of rule that fiancés need to be tied to the hip at all times? I just personally don't think there's enough here to say there are split rumors, but anyways, they're literally in Nashville, like, taking selfies right now, so I think everything's okay. I mean, you never know. I mean, this could be right. I don't know. Anyways, this one's from Cafe Mom. It says, Sister Wives star Cody Brown, angry ex Christine moved their daughter in with strange man. So apparently an insider said that Cody is mad that Christine sons are still not talking to Cody, and the divided family may celebrate another holiday separately. A discussion about Christmas blows up into the worst fight Janelle and Cody have ever had. So looks like we're finally gonna make it to Christmas 2021. Yay! We're moving up in time. Now, let's get to a secret wedding update. In Touch published a story recently about a secret wedding that may have happened last year in 2022 for one of the kids. So the article said, Sister Wives star Leon Brown secretly married their longtime partner Audrey Chris. In Touch can confirm. Leon and Audrey tied the knot nearly 1 year ago on October 29th, 2022, according to the marriage certificate obtained by In Touch. The pair got married at a courthouse in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Honestly, I was not surprised to see this. It makes a lot of sense to me. They've just been engaged for a long time, and with all the family turmoil, they probably were like, yeah, let's just get married and not make it a big thing. This would have also been close to when her brother Logan got married. So congratulations to Audrey and Leon. I guess not much is known about the wedding. It's not even confirmed by them officially. Not sure if Mary was even there or like if anyone else was there. What we do know is that Leon likes to hang out at the park in the evening. She said in her most recent post, an evening at the park. It's weird to remember myself at 14 and then try to give them what they needed. A can of soda, writing love letters to people who don't know me anymore, crying to music that makes me feel something, watching the sun actually set, sweet reminders to breathe by actually stopping to smell the flowers. Evenings in the park seem to do that to me. So some self-reflection there from Leon. So Leon and Audrey thriving in Colorado with their dogs and friends seems like. Leon did make an appearance at Gwendolyn's wedding recently and reunited with Mary there. Mary was super happy to see them. And that's that. I think Leon's doing well. All right. Thank you so much for watching the whole way through Dotto, followed by more epic training. Yep. It looks like on day 2 there was some working out happening and inspiration. She said, after a good workout, we did a little more sightseeing and shopping. This place is amazing, y'all. P.S. If anyone knows where I can get my hands on a cute Paddington figurine like this one, only quite a bit smaller, please let me know. I'm obsessed. Okay, so it is the Paddington bear obsession. That's so interesting. Mary talked about how excited she was for her trip on Fridays with Friends with Jen, and it seems like a good time for her to get away, and it looks like these retreats really make Mary feel good and stay positive, so I'm all for it. Might also mean that she's done filming for a while, perhaps, or done for the season. I don't know, but Danelle Delgado, by the way, I've seen Mary talk about her before, and she is well known for training entrepreneurs, and she's also like a motivational speaker, I believe. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed my Mary update about her trip to the UK. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye! On Sister Wives, the Brown family has had a crazy amount of drama, but nothing compares to the drama in the feuds in the family. In this video, I'll be taking an in-depth look at 4 major feuds on Sister Wives. They are Mary versus Janelle, Payton versus two of his sisters, Cody versus Gabriel and Garrison, and of course, we have a Christine versus Robin situation. But before I dive in, please subscribe and like this video, like right now. Let's start with Mary and Janelle. Janelle and Mary's feud dates back to like the 90s. Janelle was married to Mary's brother, Adam, and when their marriage ended, sparks began to fly, and Cody and Janelle started courting. So immediately, Janelle said that when she met Cody, she had the strangest feeling and felt as if she had forgotten something and suddenly remembered it. Kind of like how people describe, soulmate situations. It's been said, news alert, it's official, Christine and David are engaged and getting married probably pretty soon, guys, after dating for an estimated 6 months. And she's started planning, apparently. So the announcements came with a People magazine article and an official TLC announcement. And maybe slight shade towards Cody, probably, maybe. Christine said, "David treats me like a queen and tells me I'm beautiful every day. I've never been in love like this before, and the world seems like a brighter place with him in it. I'm so excited for the wonderful adventure we are going to embark on for the rest of our lives." And cue the multiple mentions about how he is the love of her life. And basically, Cody was not. I mean, is that slight shade? I mean, the whole never been in love like this before. Remember when Cody said at the tell-all that men probably won't like the fact that she's left a good man or something like that? Well, who's laughing now? Who is laughing now? Just saying. David even posted on his Instagram and said, "Every day when I look at you, I can't believe I'm the luckiest guy in the world because I have you. You are the most loving and caring person I have ever met." Christine is so in love with David. She's even writing about it on Washroom Mirrors. I mean, I'm literally serious. This is from David's Instagram. So they're definitely in that honeymoon phase still. And side note about David, his profile picture on Instagram is kind of giving me creepy vibes for some reason. He looks so much better in all the other pictures. Don't you guys think? Like, message to David, change your profile picture, please. And it looks like they will be getting married sooner than later. Literally a day after announcing their engagement, Christine is already looking for wedding vendors in Utah, which kind of tells me, like, she's in a hurry, or they're in a hurry to get it done. She said, "We don't always get second chances in life. I'm blessed to have found mine, to have found my happily ever after. It's time to plan a wedding. I'm asking for any Utah locals for help. Our wedding cake, flowers." Here are the top 5 revelations from Gwendolyn about what Cody and Robin did at her wedding. More tea has been spilled from Gwendolyn Brown herself, the 11th Brown child, about what exactly happened when Robin and Cody showed up to her wedding like 2 hours late and just chilled by themselves in the background super awkwardly. Gwen revealed a lot on a YouTube live, and here are the top 5 things she revealed. The wedding was not filmed for Sister Wives, as great as that would have been. I mean, it would have been TV gold, guys. Number 5. Gwen says that Cody did not walk her down the aisle as per tradition. She said, "I didn't want to be walked. I felt like if somebody would have walked me down the aisle that wasn't my dad, it would have been a serious statement. So I was just like, I'm just gonna go by myself." I mean, why does that make me so sad? Just thinking back to the big hoopla Cody had made about Aspen's wedding, Maddie's wedding, it was like such a big focus. McKelty's wedding, I mean, Gwen deserved that same treatment, that same hoopla. So it does make me sad to hear that. Not only that, Gwen said that she didn't even take a picture with Cody at her wedding. He showed up too late and missed all the pictures. The most that happened was a hug, apparently, which is something, but is that enough? I don't know. Number 4, Gwen said that some family members were mad that Cody and Robin showed up but kept it together and didn't make a scene or anything like that. Oh, they just talk behind their backs there. So there was probably a fair amount of gossiping going on at Gwen's wedding, whispers maybe, awkward glances, I imagine, in my mind. So although she didn't say who was mad specifically, she didn't say, and I mean, I just imagine like maybe Garrison and Gabriel, but that's just like a guess. Probably more people, but they just tend to speak their mind, and they're very much, you know, in a feud with Cody right now. So she had said some people were mad. There are 3 new Sister Wives teasers for season 18, episode 3. The episode will include Janelle and Cody's big fight, the one where she yells, you know, F you. We also have the description for episode 4, so watch until the very end of this video. The first teaser is from Us Weekly, and it shows Dear Cody bonding with his male friends. Robin says, girls need girl time and boys need boy time. And apparently the wives referred to Cody hanging out with his other guy friends as Testosterone Tuesday. Cody does not hold back when he's with his friends. We know this, so here we go. Cody immediately goes on like this big tangent about how if you have a wife and you're not enjoying her, you can just run to another wife and it dilutes their personality. And polygamy is like this opportunity to get away from a wife, because basically to escape for a while. Oh, what was that? And same for the woman, he says. She gets a break from the man when maybe she gets annoyed by him or whatever. So let me get this straight. Instead of facing issues in your relationship, you just run to another wife if you're polygamist, right? Wow, that sounds like a great way to ruin a relationship. Mary says that comment actually made her want to vomit. She says he should try to figure it out instead of using wives as an escape. Facts. Cody tells his friends he may feel jealous if another man enters Christine's life, but then in his confessional, he contradicts himself and says he's not going to be bothered because what can he do? I actually believe the first thing, what he was saying to his friends. He probably does not love David, but that's what I think. I mean, it's a natural thing. Your ex isn't gonna, I mean, it's a whole thing, right? So his friend asks him a $1 million question here, I thought, which was good. He says, what would you have done differently to save the Christine relationship? And Cody says that he thinks that at one point, Christine just like really hated polygamy and he acted and agreed with me. But I mean, now that more of the wives left, the poor graphic designer at TLC that has to figure this out, like, how do they do the group shot? Well, apparently in a rainbow shape with broken glass cracks everywhere. I guess this is a metaphor, but it really looks like a horror movie poster, like all the cracks and everything. It's a mess. Robin is, in her picture, looking far away somewhere like she's daydreaming about her porch with her sister wives and grandkids. That's never gonna happen, you know? I don't know, but why couldn't she be looking somewhere even remotely close to the camera? Also, these look awfully familiar, almost like they're recycled pictures from last season, because they probably were not into getting together for another photo shoot or something like that. I don't know. The new teaser, I guess teaser part 2, needs to also be broken down because they released it, and historically the teaser basically shows us the big moments. There's rarely been like huge surprises with these teasers. Typically, it looks like some of the season is taking place around Christmas, but I mean, is it last Christmas? It cannot be Christmas 2021 or I will freak out. And still no David in the teasers yet. The new trailer that they just released starts with Christine basically saying point blank that she left because Cody had favorites. No one is surprised by this, but I'm surprised that it sounded like she said favorites, like plural. Who is the other favorite? I feel like she still meant only Robin. Maybe that was like just kind of like a slip, but anyways, just something I noticed. Mary says that she heard Cody refer to her as a friend. Like, Mary at this point is still holding on for some reason, grasping at anything at this point, and I cannot wait until the moment on the show where we don't need to watch these moments and she just wakes up and gets the heck away from Cody. He does not deserve you, Mary. And the confessionals, and this is the scene where she's painting and talking about this with her kids. Christine, David, and Cody are shown all watching this, and it's kind of awkward. We learn that Christine and David have matching tattoos, a symbol that means new beginnings in Celtic. Christine's tattoo is over her heart, so kind of like on her boob area, and so it's not exactly discreet. Like, she can't hide it very easily, so very bold move here. Cody says that the scene with the kids bothers him because it seems to him that she was asking the kids to side with her. Never mind the fact that he wasn't attracted to her for like 30 years and kind of married her without loving her. He says, I cannot forgive that she has pit my children against me. Well, we can't forgive you, Cody, for being such a bad husband to Christine, so it is what it is. He says, if she's really in love, that should all end, her trash talking me and Robin. So he says that again, as if it's like some type of threat or he's trying to convince her to stop. Cody says that Christine is Machiavellian and that David might pull him aside one day and say, dude, this is crazy. Suki's like, I don't think that's gonna happen. I mean, I agree. That's really far-fetched. Suki asks David what his impression of Cody is, and he says, well, he wears his heart on his sleeve, and he wants you to hear him. I mean, who gave David media training? This is like the most nice way of saying he needs to stop talking. Like, Cody needs to keep things to himself. Cody basically says that he vetted Robin a lot, like so much more, and, you know, he wanted to make sure that she didn't leave a good man. Suki asks David, what do you think went wrong with Cody and Christine? And David just says, Christine is the whole package, so I have no idea. I mean, what is he gonna say, Suki? He's supposed to analyze the whole show and their marriage in his first ever TV interview. He hasn't even been on the show yet, so justice for David. He is handling himself pretty well. This goes to show the delay here. So for fans of the show who follow Mykelti at all, this was not a shock. It was just nice to see the moment where this happened. And the first thing Christine says is, are you excited to only get pregnant one more time? Mykelti says, yes, we're done after this. So I guess Mykelti is not going to have 6 kids like her mom. Just wild guess. But I found it interesting. That's the first kind of thing that she was talking about here. So Peyton is like, Mom, you can hold one as Mykelti holds one. And this made me laugh. It was kind of stating the obvious, and we just love Peyton. And then she shows the iPhone recording the scene, the sonogram for the whole world on national television to watch. Her uterus is out there. I mean, this is an exciting twist, but so far back in the past that I cannot. Here's a look at the twins now, actually, at a pumpkin patch. They recently went to one. Mykelti said under this post, all leaves and pumpkins, please. Last year, these boys were very uncomfortably inside my womb, and now they're almost 1. It's crazy how fast life passes you by. What an incredible year this has been. I'm overjoyed, looking forward to the next years. Mykelti is truly thriving as a mom of 3, and Tony, I mean, we all love Tony. He's such a good partner for her. Now, let's get to the episode descriptions for episodes 11 and 12. So, episode 11 is called Airing the Dirty Laundry, and that is airing this weekend. It says Christine is ecstatic when Mykelti tells her she's having twins. Then, Meri reveals that while out for their anniversary, Kody finally admitted he no longer wants a relationship with her, and she is forced to consider ending her marriage for good. This hope that Meri keeps talking about on camera is just so heartbreaking and triggering. She needs to completely break free. So on Fridays with Friends with Jen that she films on Instagram, someone had asked her recently if she would ever consider polygamy again, and Meri kind of seemed